Hello. Thank you so much for waiting around. We are back.
We're back.
Small indie company Riot Games. We found the fix, and currently, from the first game, the UW Madison Tyrotoxism took the first game. We are going to be loading in with, I believe there was a change of Noxus versus Ionia instead of Demacia, is what I'm led to believe. But
Okay.
we're gonna get that the new stream link out to those who didn't watch. So if you know anybody that was also watching and they are not on the right stream link, go send them the new stream link, get them on this new one, because we have full action here for you to see.
Yep, and just to keep you up to date, the Rift overwhelmed by its numbers versus Shurima, and the Emperor has fallen.
Yep, the Emperor was fallen. Too much from Shurima. Too much sand in the servers. The Void swallowed the router. There was some magic mumbo jumbo that happened, but we're back.
We're back and
safe
better
from the
than
Void.
ever.
Safe from the Void. Road trip back to here. Stopped at a a Shuriman Burger King and something. Got some food, and now they're back. We're all good. We're all set, and we are ready to view the next few games. This one, I believe, Noxious Ionia, which is the entire thing between that is kind of like semi-covered in Arcane, and is going to be one of the newer points in a later thing that they did. Essentially, Noxious war country. Ionia was a very like mystical, magical world where they have like just absolute like inanimate objects are animate, the trees are alive. And Noxus was like, all right, we need resources. What do? Invade. And they got the help from a certain guy called Singed, who made a literal chemical warfare bomb that damaged half of Ionia. And that's where a lot of it comes in. Irelia, everyone knows Swain. He's cool. All right, we are restarting. We won't be getting into the game in a bit. Jungler did not have smite. We're gonna be running it back and then putting it up. I hate when that
is my
happens.
worst nightmare.
Yeah, you ever hate when that happens?
Yeah. So I got a story back way back in the day. Now tell me, this isn't boomer alert. But back in high school, it was our first official League of Legends team. It was back in like 2015. I want to say. So it was way back. We were playing our high school match, and I locked in Nidalee with Flash Heal. So instead of
at least you'd have a healthy jungle clear.
Instead of me having we didn't swap champs or something. So instead of me having Flash Heal, I took Nami and I played Nami with Smite in the jungle.
Ooh,
so
let's go.
It's kind of like the worst nightmare that could happen to a jungler. Is
I was
not
gonna say,
Smite.
but no, but the healthy clear if you had that heal though.
Yeah, especially because I don't think you didn't technically need Smite.
No, I remember Smite wasn't needed necessarily, but now it's like you won't get level 2 if you don't have Smite.
Yeah, I blame all the XP sharing and top lane shenanigans in terms of top laners taking camps and getting full XP and whatnot for that.
I won't speak on top laners. I'm biased. Although I will say my favorite top laners. Oh, speaking of top laners, there's you know what? If it's Ionia versus Noxus, we could see a champion that ends up on both teams.
Oh, are you talking? I'm thinking what you're.
I'm talking about Set. Set, the Ionian-born Noxus pit boss, and another one, Xin Zhao.
Oh,
he was a kid born in Ionia during the wars, taken in Noxus, made into a gladiator in the fight pit, saved by Demacia. So that's why he wears the Demacian armor, because they saved him from the fight pits, and now he's in the Demacian territory. So he actually could have been seen in any 3 of these combinations of Demacia, Noxus, Ionia.
A true gladiator, but shout out to the biggest gladiator in the room, which is Kenneth, Big K-Bot, for saving this stream.
Thank you
this
so
wouldn't
much.
be possible without our head esports coordinator, Kenneth, for making this all possible. This is the first invitational for Green Bay for League of Legends since due to this game being a little bit aged, I would say. There's not that much support in it in terms of interstate. Not as many numbers coming to play. That's a whole nother thing. But
yeah. I'm excited to see what teams do.
Just how long have you been playing League?
I knew of the game for a while, but I started at like tail end of season 8, start of season 9, because that's when I got into it. I was more console based. I had my feel good games. I had like a Wii growing up, then a Wii U. My shooter, I played a shooter game of choice, Splatoon. It was such a good game when it came out. I enjoyed it a lot. And then I played Smash. I liked a lot of fighting games, but MOBA was like my first big delve into like a big game, and I enjoyed it a lot. I had an esports class in high school where we played League, and I was forced on Tristana. And when somebody told me ulti, I'm like, oh, that's alt, and then the E key.
There is a lot of learning curves and jargon for any new players in League.
Yeah.
Ganking,
I mean, they told me how to
level.
They told me how to level up my abilities, and they're like, "Oh, ability order is Q, like for Tristan, oh, just like Q E W," and I'm like, "All right, level 1 Q, level 2 E, level 3 W, level 4 Q, level 5 E, level 6 Alt, then W Q." So I thought it was like, oh, you just do it in order incrementally, and I'm like, no, you just max one out. I started my game off. I went easy. My first skin I got, like one of my first few skins I got, this was during the Nightbringer Dawnbringer with Soraka, and I pulled Dawnbringer Soraka, and I'm like, okay, I'll Soraka. That was fun.
Right.
All right, sure thing. We just got a little bit of news. We are going to be a little bit out from doing it. One of the clients is having issues, so it'll take a little bit. But onto that, yeah. Dawnbringer. I got it. I played Soraka. I'm like, oh, this is a really good champ to just learn like positioning and heals.
Yeah, the basics.
And then I played Morgana, and I'm like, okay, this is like my main. It's still my highest mastery champion. And I found Pyke. Ooh, fun champion. I may or may not have the secret lab Pyke chair from when they did the League ones, because I love that champion and I needed a good chair for my new desk. And I was like, all right, it's on sale. Let's get Pyke. And he's been like my favorite champion in lore for ever. But I ended up playing a lot of hook champions. Thresh is currently like my favorite to play because he is fun. Hitting a hook with Thresh is so satisfying. I can't tell you how, but seeing him wind back and throw, there's something about that.
Yeah.
But then I've been finding my way into the other lanes. Set for top lane, he's fun. I turn my brain off, sit back, and I punch. It's fun.
Punch and throw haymakers.
That move is that move is stupid. That's as somebody who plays Set, that's not okay.
Yeah.
I've been playing more Arena recently. I love that.
Yeah.
It's super.
What a great feature! Just being able to play with 2v2s, and then as you queue up, you get cool augments.
Oh, augments
change the way that the game is played.
And then maps. The new arenas, the one with the pillars that do so much true damage. I think I got one down to low health, and then I did a haymaker. Oh, no, I didn't do a haymaker. I did the skull bash with Set, where I grabbed somebody and the pillar, smashed them together, and they were stunned enough for the pillar to donk them.
Spider-Man.
Oh, it's so fun.
Oh yeah. Plus, the interaction if you like CC them into the pillar, it automatically falls.
Oh, I think it's such like a unique game mode where it's basing off the just classic like team fight. Like there's always action. I enjoy the ability to revive your teammate, and all the augments are just super fun. It's like what makes TFT fun, like augments in that game. Kind of like make it. And in this game, getting your augments are kind of like even getting the one where it's just like, I think as Mordekaiser, I got the one that were like my auto attack does like an extra 3.5% physical damage of 100% of my AP. And on Mordekaiser, you're already doing an extra thing of damage. So all my auto attacks are doing like an extra like 150 AD. It's stuff like that where I think I enjoy theory crafting in League. When season 10 with season 10 with Mythics.
Okay.
When that came out, I was kind of like crafting what to do with certain mythics.
Which mythics to buy with
I had such a bad bonus health Pyke build because he can't get any.
Nope.
And the first item was Warmogs, and you never proc its
no.
ability. But I went the full max health Pike build. I made a very bad PowerPoint presentation on it.
Why transferring health into 80 is good.
Yeah,
That.
It was like full health Pike from Challenger, from a in quotes not yet Challenger Pike. But no, I had a fun time like going through that first. But theory crafting is definitely where I enjoy the game. I remember when New Mundo came out, and I was like really thinking what you could do for him.
Yeah.
And then I think more so when other different things came out for that. It was just fun getting to theory craft a bunch of that stuff.
So speaking of game modes, if you want to, what is your favorite game mode that Riot has ever released and why?
I joined right at the end of Twisted Treeline's lifespan.
Recipes Twisted Treeline.
3
Riot, if you're listening,
v3.
bring this back. You're not
Dude.
listening, but I just want to say that.
It's so fun. It was so cool. And I only got it for like 2 months. It was fun. Like I liked how it was. It was unique. I liked the Shadow Isle spider theme. I miss it. It was cool.
The Vile Maw.
Oh, the Vile Maw's cool.
The Vile Maw was like the placement in the very upper corner of the map. It just felt like it was a faster paced game, and it had a very legitimate ranked ladder. I know I climbed up not super high, but around the level that I do climb in League, which is around like Diamond, and the game mode was just fun. Like you could choose champions that weren't as common in Summoner's Rift, and they'd be really good in Twisted Treeline.
Yeah, it was just a different way of play. Like don't get me wrong, I love my ARAMs. It's such a goofy mode where you're just fighting. I always say that ARAM should be called team fight tactics because that's
now
all
we're talking
you do.
about worse game modes. Dominion. I know people only like Dominion because of the nostalgia factor, but if we're thinking about Dominion in like okay, let's be real here. That map was so frustrating to play. You had to channel to like secure points on the map. And the only time that I would play Dominion was for like the fun custom game modes. You join a custom lobby and they're doing like Chase the Teemo or something, or there's this one Zerath game mode that was pretty spawned off of Dominion. I forgot which. I forgot which.
No,
it was like a Shurima.
No,
it was like a Shurima theme.
Yeah,
game
and then
mode.
there was a new like with
We're fixing the camera.
There was a new PvE. What was it called? Hello there. There was a new PvE mode for that, and
we are in the game.
Oh my god!
Thank you,
Kenneth.
There you go.
Thank you, Kenneth. There you go.
As we were talking, Ionia versus Noxus. All right, here on Team Ionia, Yone, Kane, Ari, Varus, and Karma. Two Darkins, both hailing from Ionia. And then on Team Noxus, we have Darius. We have Mordekaiser, Kaz, Singed, and that is a great turnaround that we just saw right off the bat.
LiQWYD just showing the true Noxus spirit.
Oh, and like I thought, I actually had a feeling that they would do this. That is a LeBlanc support.
I'll be support. You heard it here first.
I thought they would have went. I thought they would have went Rel.
I know that Rel is a very common support because you could go like Rel Samira.
Oh, I'm realizing how absolutely disgusting the Noxus side bot lane. That is CC City. That is CC City. And
Swing gets out of control. That's dangerous.
I'm not gonna lie, Ionia's kind of getting the weaker side of champion synergy. I feel like Noxus has a lot more synergizing factors to it. As Kane goes in, the flash by LeBlanc.
Kane is gonna be a big, healthy.
As Ionia secures 3 kills of the game. If you don't know, Pizza Warfare. There's a new feature as the new season as the new season came out. The first team to 3 kills gets a feat. You have to at least get 2 of these features. The first to 3 objectives are the first team to get the first tower. If you secure either 2 of the 3, you gain special boots, which make you go faster, increase cooldown, increase cooldown, and magic or
the magic physical shield. Yeah, the ninja tabbies. I know they're called steel caps. I know they're called steel caps. I just ninja tabbies. Merc treads. They give you the big shield. My personal favorite. My personal favorite boots. I love favorite boots. I love they're getting like 7 minutes. Just getting that recall. It's like it doesn't matter if you're ahead or behind. You get or ahead or behind.
The best feats to get is if you secure the feats.
Oh yeah, like look, 10%
total move speed. Chromie secures
going in. There's
Kane going in. Looking to stack some passes.
Getting taken back out of here. He was 1 blood away. If he didn't have flash, I think that was a Q into ult. Varus, you're gonna Varus and Kane are gonna be big characters for Team Ionia, and it looks like Kane here has.
I think this game is about burst versus sustained damage. You've got Mordekaiser.
There's like 3 tanks. There's 3 tanks on Team Noxus.
The Juggernaut.
I think Kane is kind of forced to go red.
I think Kane is forced to go red too, and I think from what I can see is that it is a conqueror. Kane, so more than likely. You're gonna see Kane go red.
Aria Cass, actually something we saw earlier today with the
first game.
Tyro. Yeah, I saw that. So I got to see Cassiopeia and Ari take the stand.
Kane looking to steal one and secures it. He's just looking to poke a little bit more for a little bit more
fighting to get that little child going for the juice. Going for the juice, trying to get some extra sustain in that fight, making it out alive.
Yep.
Although Kane was in the fight, he's getting stacks for his
stacking up his form. I wouldn't be surprised to see an early form for Kane.
Oh, I would not. An early form against this team has changed the way it goes.
As the game progresses, pretty even game. Not a substantial goal lead for both teams. Which team do you have slightly favored over the other?
In just terms of raw power and output, I kind of have Ionia favored. They have Karma burst damage, Varus burst damage, Ari CC. They had Kane from over there. I think Kane in red form is going to be able to take any fight. And if Kone just goes out of control, it's going to be good.
You know, you've seen red Kane, you've seen red blue Kane, but have you heard of the infamous gray Kane?
I have a Kane. I've heard about all the lores of purple. I know about inting for form.
You just constantly fight until you get form. It may look int on screen, but
missing the ult there. That would have been such a big pick. If he got ult, that would have been. If he got ult, that would have been. He would have had to ult and retort. But getting the kill here on this Karma but ignite with 1 HP. Doing enough.
Tragic. LeBlanc in her most.
I mean, LeBlanc's slightly changes. I think they added this thing where
I don't know if they've added it yet. I think they just did the VG. During the VGU,
who's the most notable LeBlanc player? There's like this one guy that's
Bobkin. You're able to W and Q while
and now the Q would apply during it, so you can have insane damage.
I don't think that's added, but I could be wrong.
No, but I remember showing that, and I was like, oh, that damage output with electrocute. If you just do Q mimic QW,
flapping his wings,
ghosting towards
the enemy.
Just one little pick. They're gonna take the ward back there, although they're converging. Converging in on this and getting the root. That's a kill for Cass.
Going in, trying to go get the kill. One more, barely missing. That's barely missing. Going in with the ult. He has full stacks, trying to get the big damage, and the bleed is going to take care of it. And there's the kill. Amazing team fight. Looking at the map, there's going to be a bit of colliding at bottom. They're going to go for it. They're going to go for it. Stopping the back, still such a good thing to get for the team. Trying to mark down the karma. Going in for the damage. Wow. Just seeing absolute domination. Getting the charm off just to run away.
Massacre.
Karma just trying to be annoying.
Noxus is just displaying their power.
I mean, hey, listen. Ionia is temporary, but although that's low health, Yone gonna come in and get the kill on the Mordekaiser. Yone low health in the Swain damage. The dodges the big blast from Swain. Swain out of ult, low health, charm, barely missing right there. Procced LeBlanc's passive. Kane is able to get W going in with the ult, going past the wall, barely getting it. But that is a shutdown. Kane assisted in it, which is form on deck soon. If we had the score at the bottom, I think we'd be able to know more if Kane is closer to form. Although seeing the enemy team, that's
a lot of melee champ.
Actually, it's over and ranged, and I think it would be pretty easy.
I think he got ranged and is waiting for the timer for his red Kane. Is my guess. Red team secured Elemental Drake, the Hextech Drake. Now it's 1-to-1 Drakes. Nox is having a slight lead with the Grubbies as well as 3 additional kills.
The Grubs really help out here.
Darius is just having a field day up top, staying top, gathering plates. He's already secured enough kills, just waiting for his item spike, and then going to be running around the map. Now, we've seen this, even though I know this is a themed matchup. Instead of choosing Relsamir, they are going for a double mage bot. Now, this would be a questioning thing. We've been seeing it happen more often, is having more AP-centric champions in the bot lane. What do you think about that?
I, as somebody who plays support, it's interesting. I definitely know there was a time where I'm less likely to want to have AP in the bot lane. Although I also would be less likely to have a bunch of people in the top lane. And as Darius goes on a killing spree, getting 2, definitely not letting up, because like getting conversion on by 3. Great kill. Getting conversion on by 3 people and then just saying, no, I'm going to get it. Ignite taking this kill here. And that was a very, very bad trade for the team. And as we're seeing, we can see there's not really much of a gold deficit
Happy
here.
Feet.
Oh, Wombo combo. Oh, that ain't Falco. And 1Q here could sign the deal with all the stacks of corruption on it and taking it down. And I mean, if we look at the stats here, look at that CS differential from the Swain to the Forest.
Yeah, we've got a game here. Mad Weeg is clawing their way back up, and as they slowly scale in, Varus is farming close to, I want to say 9 CS per minute, a little bit under 9 CS per minute.
But still, I mean, doing what he needs to. Taking a look at the items here, we got Swain on Black Flame. We have, oh my gosh, the Magi Soul Stealer from Support LeBlanc.
Oh,
that with the ZZ Rod support item, that's huge damage. Like, look at that already from 1Q. Zach, yeah, one of the one of the beloved Void names. Karma just trying to take it down, but getting damaged, can't step back, and it's going to be a very easy kill, flashing away just to preserve their life. Kane finding their target, needing to flash away, not going to deal with that Mordekaiser. I think if Yone gets this tower here, he just goes all in. Or if Darius got that,
heal.
Oh my gosh, the heal off that, the ult getting that, the bleed, and the dash taking him down.
Do you think the bleed's gonna be enough?
I don't think. If he has Triumph, he got the health back.
Yeah.
LeBlanc trying to go in, trying to snipe the blue buff. Not going to want the Kane to have it. Mordekaiser coming up here along with Cassiopeia.
Joe Mother ulting in. Has the right clone. Oh. And Inzuman takes the kill. Pumpkin Pankin is rooted. Ari ulting in. Dodges the E, but Karma gets stuck. Ulties in from
going
Crowley,
in with ult, trying to get something. The stun from Cassiopeia, not enough to keep the Swain alive. Ari trying to go in to get something big. All right, as we're seeing here, that Varus is going to be a turning point. We got 3 stacks on the Ari's Rod of Ages, but Cassiopeia has Archangels, which is big as the Rod of Ages keeps stacking, though. It's going to be out hitting the charm out of what I'm assuming is knowledge of the vision from over there, but they went out of vision right there. They just wanted to get the hit.
But the pathing was a little bit weird because the shorter path made the charm walk to the right instead of the left. A little slight miscalculation there by Ari.
It's interesting to know.
Inzuman poking down the tower. They've already scored first tower. Just
getting hit, giving Swain a stack. Could this be a kill on the Varus here? With going in, getting the ignite, and Swain can just kind of pick the rest of that off. Swain hitting the root, hitting the Q. Barrier popped and trying to get the kill on this LeBlanc, flashing away. And Swain gets this with the last Q right here.
Takes a tower shot. Shut down to Swain. Swain's finding a way back into the game. It's a little bit of an uphill battle, but as LeBlanc greeted for the curse of upgrading the Dark Seal to the Unsealed Spellbook, is only sitting at a sad 2 stacks.
Yeah, it was at 9 before, so there's an unfortunate death that happened that got rid of a bunch of stacks. Cassiopeia just moving around this queue.
Mordekaiser grabbing the second set of grubbies as the feats, I think, is first tower to blue side, first 3 kills to red side, as well as
objectives are almost about to be blue side.
Objectives are even.
And now I will say
objectives aren't even. This is going to be the 3rd objective for.
I will say we no longer have a Kane on the field.
Noxus. For Noxus is going to be securing the feats as they all get upgraded boots. And Kane, as you were saying, sorry.
It is now the Darkened Scythe himself, Rost. A little bit of lore to it. Nobody has been powerful enough to wield the scythe except for Kane's prowess. It only slightly overtook him, changing his eye and his hand. And unfortunately, in this timeline, the Darken overtook the Master. So we are going to get to see Rost. Rost, of course, getting his bonus of the knockup on his W and getting a bunch of healing on his moves. So it's going to be a bit of a turning point in this match. He's it does look like he's going purple Kane here. He does have Eclipse to get some extra damage. I mean, getting the 2 hits and getting a giant shield is big. Great flash from the Karma here to avoid getting CC'd, just moving away, needing to protect this tower with all their might.
Just Kyoko
scuffle in the top lane, but as we go on bot, Karma's just trying to get stuff done. Dodging very well, not able to do it, but the ignite almost taking down, and then Ross getting the final kill with W. Ross getting he's going to get a huge thing of health from right here.
Looking back, showing his prowess in driving and navigating.
And the shield not being enough to take down. He had enough health, but the LeBlanc taking it down. That was almost very unfortunate for blue side team.
We can replay that. I wish we could, because he took that Shelly into drift mode as he drifted to secure the kill.
I respect it, but Forrest coming in here with a lot of health. LeBlanc being able to take it down.
Wants to get that last charge.
Taking care of the Rift Herald. That could have been scary for their tower. Darius not giving a care in the world, but not taking down tower right here, although it could fall to minions, and it did. As we see her LeBlanc running out using the Mimic W just to get into lane faster. Anyone on death, it's just that Darius with I mean, he does have a dead man's plate that's going to be able to get him into lane a bit faster now. What are we looking like for items? What do you think about the Blade of the Rune King on the Yone first item?
Play the Rune King on Yone. He wants to sustain a little bit. I do see a lot of Yone's running Blade first. Another build that I think has become outdated, but it was fun to watch while it happened. While it was still there, was like what was it? The item that slows and slashes a circle around you.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm trying to
just ran grasp with it. It was
yeah,
just like
it's
stat
big.
checking.
Varus getting absolutely dove over here. Just
overloaded side.
Yeah.
Let's see if red side can answer with the opposite.
It looks like Rost is positioning a little bit behind Darius here. They could converge in on it or go to take care of Cassiopeia. Now, Cassiopeia being a huge downside to Kane. Kane can't Q. He can't ult through it because he's grounded. So a lot of Kane's big movement option is just stopped. Karma in the zone, not getting killed in time. Big ult, even bigger Cassiopeia ult.
Rost taking it right here. Need to run out of tower range, flashing out, getting the knock up.
Needing to run out. There's 2 left. Ross is going to take huge damage. Queuing out of the way of the E. Ari sadly having to sacrifice life here. Ross just needing to do what he can to get out.
Darius sprinting in to catch the Kane.
Don't think he's going to quite get it,
but he's sure going to try. He's going to flash over the wall to block off the entrance into Ross.
They are hungry for this Kane.
Just kind of corralling them into their side of the map as Swain pops out the W. Doesn't quite hit.
Dodging
Joe
slightly,
Mother,
but
1-1-1-1-1
look
is
at
run,
the
run,
speed.
running. Going to W out, going to walk away.
And
but
he gets hit by the root,
root.
getting taken in. Oh, they were so hungry. That is not Kane. That is Raisin Canes. They wanted the Caney hat combo when they got it. That is, they were running for it, but see, that's where I thought Dead Man's Plate was like such a good build item. You just get to run so fast, and this is just.
I'm realizing this Darius is built to just not let you move.
He uses item active, slows you. Dead Man's Plate proc slows you. He uses W, slows you. He's going to catch up to you one way or another.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. And they take Atakan, and it is ruinous. They will be getting a buff from all the field buffs. Now, for ruinous Atakan, not only does it give you extra buffs from blue and red, does it actually increase the buffs you get from dragon?
Correct. Dragon stacked increasing its percentages by a certain amount. So once you gain more dragon stacks, although most of the time ruinous isn't really about the stat padding, it's more about the XP that you gain and adaptive force damage gained by the petals. A fun little mini game that I decided to add to make your life even more infuriating is you have to collect all of the rose petals to gain the full, to reap the full benefits of taking Atakan. Which does allow for the enemy team to swoop in and potentially maybe secure a couple of their petals, maybe finish a fight off. I think, in my opinion, from just playing the game a little bit more, is that Atakan is more difficult to set up than Baron. It spawns earlier in the game, does a lot of damage.
It's like armor, I actually like it. I like it as a mini boss in game because it's tough.
It is very tough.
But killing it, you get so many roses for it. So
yeah, killing it, you get roses, but then the roses will be contested as well.
Here, we had to quick switch here, but here we are. We're going in. Looks like we have a small few mouse problems as here, but going into the fight, we just had Varus take care of the Morden, clean it up. Here we have a big fight. That is a missed ult from Yone going back because he knew he wasn't in danger.
Yellow Chug
getting the knock up here, keeping them at bay. Going in, just getting a huge stun off in the ground, just cleaning him up. Cassiopeia not one to be trifled with. Now, as we're looking here with the items, notice LeBlanc. You see those stacks on Soul Stealer?
Keeping his way back up.
That's a big 2-0.
Big 2-0. 2-0, 200.
Although I think... Down. Oh my gosh, the dodges from the LeBlanc here. They're sidestepping every which way. Big damage coming in from the Kane, getting the damage in, just poking off. We have Ari coming in, popping ult, trying to go in, popping the charm, going with the Q, getting the ult and taking it down.
Now, as the game progresses, Cassiopeia grounds.
Getting a huge chunk off of the enemy.
It's just going to be a matter of time as Yone respawns, going to walk his way up as Cassiopeia is trying to slither her way out of this situation. Not
gonna
quite
get
gonna
hit.
be due.
The
Hit by
missing the
Q,
charm.
W's in from the
Missing the
ulti.
charm, getting a
No,
huge open.
not
Yones
enough.
comes from behind and just takes care of it. And
Inhuman lives out by a
Varus-
sliver of
Varus
health, which
living out
makes me
sliver.
bring up a question. 4 AP on the side of Noxus. You do see a Negatron cloak in the Varus shop. It's just a matter of time until we see the red side pump out a bunch of MR items, and slowly but surely it's going to be a stat checking season.
I mean, you already see
Red.
Wit's End over here on Varus, and then that's
Yep, it does look like the Negatron cloak has been upgraded.
it's going to be big because
to-
now with that extra on deck is going to hurt. Now looking at Team Noxus over here, we got Darius with Sterix Gauge. He is building up everything he can to just take you down. As we are seeing here, sorry for the difficulties. We will see, but I'm liking how this game is progressing. Noxious Ionia has a lot of like counters for the characters.
Announcement of the new season. If you had a chance to watch the cinematic for it, seeing the new LeBlanc, seeing the Elise skin.
We're
back.
We're back. Oh, but also,
New LeBlanc, great. New Elise skin, great. That cinematic is so cool.
So cool.
I also loved seeing Katarina too. I think that outfit was like really cool. I like what they're doing. But see, those skins are pretty cool. But let's talk about cooler skins. What do you feel about that April Fool's drop?
Pengu Garen.
Okay.
Legitimately good.
Apart from Pengu Garen, I love Toilet Urgot. Because did you hear his walk cycle?
No.
He has plungers on his feet, so you hear plunger noises when he walks. Oh my gosh. I think this was a good drop of April Fool's skins.
Yellow Chug.
As a support player, I play Braum. I want barbecue Braum. That is like the. Have you seen the image of the War Machine? But like with the food thing in his chest, the shawarma machine.
No, but that sounds no.
His Braum shield has that full like thing of the shawarma in the middle of it. And the skin's so good. I really like what they've been doing for the April Fool's skin, where they actually feel like something of value. I've been liking that. Like Sandcastle Malphite is just perfect. And they made the Fury into a hot dog.
As much backlash has been received for the Mordekaiser skin that was released. It's kind of nice to see, right? Put an effort to make some fun features, make some fun game modes, and nice skins. Because Lord knows,
getting the charm and getting the big damage. That is already has some
proc and going with like the Yoko, like the Yoko, getting the big stun. That is going to be Ari taking down all the poison damage. That's where Cassiopeia shines. That's two big kills for Team Noxus.
We have Ross coming in the back. Yoko getting flashed out.
Flashing in for it.
Getting missing kill. Just Yoko dies from Pumpkin Pancakes as Kane goes in. Gathers the last.
Hopping the Zonius to dodge the damage, but dying to it.
Slightly misses and is targeted by the grounded from Charge 2525 with the ace.
And this is Dragon right here. Cassiopeia, if you land one thing of poison and just start mashing the key to just shoot at them.
Oh, button mashers.
Oh my gosh, it's like 300 damage a hit.
It's like arthritis coming for you in 10 years instead of 25.
Yeah.
You've got Cassiopeia, you've got Karthus, you've got who else? Samira, yeah. Zeri.
Oh, let's not
talk
even
about
that.
Oh.
Zeri is like, I think the only thing to rival the amount of like hand pain you get from this is playing melee from Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
You see what they look like when they're playing on those controllers, but these are buttons characters. But Silas too. I think Silas is a button character.
Silas is a button character. Yeah.
Speaking of arena, like we were talking about earlier, I got like the thing where I get like 300 ability haste whenever I do a dash. If you remember in his kit, what is both his W and his E in both cases? Dash. So you could do W dash and then his stun. It's over. Speaking of a stun, big ult here, dying to the damage of Black Flame, missing the Q due to the CC and not getting the Mordekaiser. That is such a big loss for Team Ionia. Now another thing, another funny thing they could have done. Kane could have been on Team Noxus.
Kane could have been on
He
Noxus.
was originally a Noxus warrior.
Correct.
That was grabbed by the Shadow Warriors of like the thing that Zed is a part of in lore. So looking like we're gonna be taking these towers in this game, coming to a close. Now we have Baron in 3 minutes, so if they're forced to back off, we could see a big push for Baron and it turn the tide of this battle.
Karma's respawning. We've got 8 seconds for Kyoko.
Ari just trying to poke off with her
5 a.m.
Q,
gamer trying to fend off the inhibitor.
In. That's like a
Black
third
Banana uses magic.
Third of Vara's health going down. He has to back off a little bit. They're backing off.
Inhibitor. Blue side is going to be walking top side to secure the outer Nexus
Now Kane
tower.
can get something big here. Going through the walls, bush checking. Okay. All right, they have the Oracle Lens, but it not being enough for Karma to get out of their first ult in, but it does not come without a sacrifice of LeBlanc.
You know, 1 for 1 is a good trade for red side, don't you think?
Both only seem to be like 2 seconds off of their timers. And that's going to be an engage by Yone. Getting grounded, though, not able to pop the ult, getting stunned by the Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia getting 1 kill here. And Kane able to survive, but getting grounded, can't Q again. Now Ari here has to use all ult charges to get out, but look at where Varus is going. He needs to run and needs to back if they want to stop this engage on their base. Inhibitor number 2 down. We got 3 up versus their 3 up. Karma getting in some big damage, but not enough. I think we're seeing just so much. I mean, that cloak from Darius is just letting him live all these attacks.
Yeah.
Let's not even talk about the fact that Mordekaiser is not going to let you get away. He is Rylai's. he is keeping you in, and that's a big buff to cast right now. That is Bloodletter's Curse, which is a fair bit of MR. And both Magic Resist and Magic Shred. So if one person gets hit by their ground move, I think that's just a guaranteed kill. They will not have enough MR to live any hit. Big Rod of Ages from Ari, still at 10 stacks, giving just a lot of stats. Seeing over here at LeBlanc, they have Shadow Flame here to just do big damage. But here's the worst part. Look at that Medjai's. That's no stacks. So might be a sell.
Getting caught out.
Getting caught out, getting hugely hit. Kane going in, getting the knockup, getting the final kill. That is 2 down on Noxus team. Trying to hit that, but him going back and getting stunned, getting taken care of. Going in before that. Couldn't even hit him, getting the kill, trying to fight in the zone. Swain prepping up to take care of it. He sees that and he goes in trying to get the kill. Varus coming in from behind. Flash E coming out from the Mordekaiser, hitting the Q, flailing the flash over the wall, getting punished for it. Karma up there getting caught. That's a ult pop from Swain. Going in, getting the damage, just wailing on it, but that could be Swain getting defeated, popping the Rylai, or not the Rylai's, the Zonias to live, but not enough. And this might be the end of Karma, as the single target damage of Mordekaiser Q just absolutely takes her down. What an insane team fight.
This game, 32 minutes in, we've got a 75 kill bloodbath.
Yeah, but I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Where's Mord on the map?
Dragon, it's gonna be Soul.
And that will be Soul Point. So Cassiopeia going in through using teleport just to get there. Kane just wanting to get this LeBlanc off of their base, even using Smite to slow them down. That's Yone going in, but Yone having knowledge of where the enemy team is. And that is the tier 2 is taken down by Darius, making a huge push. And also, I think let's talk about this, Matt, because a team with Darius, Mordekaiser, Swain, and Cassiopeia has Ocean Soul. I don't think they can die.
No.
I think they are dealing too much damage and healing way too much. As we see here, Varus getting taken down by the tankiest of tanks. Cassiopeia taking a minute-long gray screen from Team Ionia. Missing the charm is very detrimental, but look at that. They're taking no damage, and they're just healing it all back. I think this is a done deal, and this will be... Okay, trying to get the ult off, maybe not able to. Mordekaiser taking a bunch of damage. That ult barely doing anything. They're just able to out-sustain the enemy team, and Darius here with a triple kill.
The Noxus overload is just too much for Ionia.
I ain't even going to the fountain and going out there, going in. And
quite a little bit of a lore accurate display
of stomping, but
yeah.
That was a very good game. We got to see the strengths of the team, but I think Noxus just had too many tanks.
Noxus just had too many tanks. You heard it here first.
And as we see the end of the game, that was the lore matchups. Unfortunately, we did not get to see the outcome of, well, the continuation of the first, but we did get to see some of the outcome. Great few matches here. I really liked what we saw from both teams. Yeah. Although I think the momentum that the team of Noxus got from getting 3 Ocean Dragons and Soul, once they got that, they were just able to make their mark in this game.
Yeah, shout out to both UW-Madison teams for making it out here and playing a pretty fun games for the first day here, making it a little bit more spicy with the themed matchup.
As we saw here, these were these two teams. But they wanted to play fun. But that will be it from us for this match. The next one that we will see, I believe, is UWGB versus Tyrotoxism. So we will see you after this short break.
And welcome back to the Green Bay Invitational. My name is Kenneth. I suppose I'm supposed to be in charge of this, but now they've got me changing the casting desk.
Hey,
well, thank you. I'm excited to be here, although I haven't watched League of Legends in a while. So,
well, you're in the right place and the right person to be next to, because I'm your resident league degen, as they say.
Well, you're also supposed to be my team's coach.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Technically.
I sure hope you know the game.
Hey, around here we wear many hats.
If you don't, maybe I'll have your pay or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's pay? Question mark?
The pay of $0.00. Yeah. All right. We're working on it. Right? But all right, this one should be fun. Last round to close the day. It's UW Green Bay versus Tyrotoxism. We've been watching Tyrotoxism all day so far. But these two teams, Matt, have a little bit of a history with one another.
Yep. So we first had our history background. We first had our game against the UW Madison varsity. We beat them. We're like, they weren't that good, so we need more competition. So we reached out to the JV team, and it's been like a semi-UW rivalry, I guess, in the making of just a very evenly matched team matchup. As you can see, Tyro is 3-1, UWGB is 4-0. It's going to be a close match.
Yeah, this should be fun. I've been looking forward, I think, since we kind of thought of this idea of hosting the LAN tournament. I thought that this would be a fun matchup to bring on LAN, especially two teams that have that history with one another, have had those interactions with one another, and now they get to do it in person, right? Yeah. And being in person is always a fun experience. I know you were in the room for the first round, right. And since then you've been trapped in this room all alone, just shouting into the void as it is. What was kind of being in that environment like for you and for everyone else on the team?
Sure. Just in the background, it's kind of cool seeing teams talk to each other, relate with a video game. This kind of serves as the replacement for interstate competition.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not that many teams could come and visit, but understandably so. It's the first one. Hoping that this continues in different forms if it can. But yeah, that's just how it is. Just a bunch of league players getting together to play some League of Legends. It's nice to see.
It's nice to see. That was the point, right? Yeah. And this is very much the test run, as I'm sure you all at home, if you've been watching so far, you know exactly that this was the test run with a number of technical issues, and apologies for that. Hopefully, they're sorted out now, and we don't have any more shenanigans.
Fingers crossed.
Of course, we say that, and something will always break. So there's always that chance. But no, this was really meant for two reasons. One, right, to bring together League of Legends teams. Every other game almost in the state, has the ability or has the WEC where they're already playing against one another. And then we head into regional and state competition split up by the quadrant of the state they're in. Marvel Rivals just got their online tournament, kind of like half semester league sort of idea that they're going for. And League of Legends doesn't have anything. So the hope was to bring as many of those schools together. And if this goes well and if people like it or like the idea of us hosting it again, maybe we will. We'll see. I will say we might need more hands on deck next time. But we'll figure it out for sure. And again, this has been the trial run, right, for the program, figuring out, all right, what can we do? How do we get all this to work properly? And can we do it, right? And I think I had a pretty good idea that we could. It was just a matter of fully taking that next step and putting it together.
Yeah, putting it together and wrapping up day one with such a banger series, best of two block series for UW Med, Tyrotoxism, and UW Green Bay Phoenix Varsity. Who are some players that we should be on the lookout for after watching the past couple? Curious what you think. Champions, players.
Dude, I've been trying to work on whatever the problem has been with broadcast, not actually watching the games to figure out who we should be looking out for.
Okay.
Who should we be looking out for, Matt?
I think we should be looking out for Verdant Chaos in the jungle. He has been showing his worth, just coming into form, right off the bat. Just going to say, hasn't had a lot of time to practice. The last time he's competed in the jungle has been 2 years ago and is really performing on stage if you've been looking at the alternate stream. In terms of the UW-Madison side, I think their jungler, Pumpkin Pancakes, and the mid laner are the players you should be looking out for.
A little jungler bias here?
Jungle mid matchup. Yeah.
Jungle bias?
Under the lens of a jungler myself.
Worried about being a jungler for the past while, and now do you get to critique other junglers? No critiques?
No critiques.
No critiques. You're just going to no, they're playing fine?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That works. All right. Draft has started on Draft Lol. So we'll be starting to see what comes through. I expect no shenanigans this time. I think they're both teams. We're not going to see any lore accurate matchups or anything.
I see.
But I do know I overheard a conversation earlier today. Green Bay talking about this Rek'Sai.
Yep.
They are not going to let it through the draft. That's their first ban on blue side.
Yep. So it's a hard champion to deal with. Has a lot of unique pathings to gank with her tunneling ability, her burrow into, she can have up to 8 burrows or 8 land strips, I guess I could say, on the map at a time. So high mobility, high gank ability, just knocking that out in the first place. Looks like UWGB is banning out Skarner too, just very heavily focused on their jungler, who really enables UW-Madison. And lastly, going for the Darius ban. On UW-Madison sides, we see an 80 carry focus. Valco, Ashton, aka Valco, kind of reverse those, has been, showing up and playing some really good 80 carry, really steady, consistent Nyla, as well as showing playing the second game. I forgot. Just some good 80 carry plays.
He's playing some 80 carries.
He's playing some League
of
Legends.
80 carry players playing some 80 carries.
Yeah.
Shocking development.
All right, so UWGB being on the blue side makes me assume that they won the toss. I feel like notoriously we have been a blue side centric team. I think win rates reflect that. And as no surprise, Yumi is being picked first. Jared and his cat. There's just something about it. Something about it.
Yeah, he probably likes the cat so much because he can type.
Yes. It allows him more time to type in.
We love Jared. The Dirtman is support on this team. He also has started to join the Overwatch program. It is playing on the JV team as a starter there. And he's just being himself there too, where it's just like constantly before draft, before you get into game, he's just talking in chat, just like having a casual conversation before the match with your opponent. Because why wouldn't you? That's the kind of guy Jared is. But all right, 2 and 3 about to come in. Vayne is locked in R1 and about to be paired potentially with a Lulu. Yep, there's the lock. Lulu coming in.
So it looks like they're trading Handshaking Enchanter with Hypercarry ADCs. I wouldn't be surprised if UWGB responds with the Neela pick. Really good into Vayne, blocking a lot of damage with her W, as well as the passive sharing. She shares a percentage of the XP gained by killing creeps and minions, and it is easy for Yuumi to stack that, as well as her heals and shields are increased with Neela based on damage, and Neela's passive increases healing.
Is it Neela or Nyla?
Neela.
Is it like tomato?
No, I think there's a correct way, and I'm mind blanking on either one. I've been swapping them out back and forth, Neela.
I've heard Nyla, I think, but I don't. I mean, again, I think real active League of Legends player. Nyla hasn't been in either of the past 2 TFT sets, so that's about all I know.
I think Nyla is the correct way to pronounce.
Volibear coming through is blue 3 for Green Bay. Likely going to jungle?
Jungle, yep.
For the most part for Verdant Chaos. Responded with Zach on red 3. So 2 jungle picks to fill things out.
Some big, beefy boys there. We've got Zach bouncing his way into the rift, and Volibear, just bearing his way into the rift as well. Both champions want to do essentially the same thing, is sustain with their healing. Both have really good healing and sustain, and both have a really good early game gank ability. That being said, after these 2 junglers have been picked, it's been just trading, hyper carry, 80 carry, enchanter support, tanky / damage dealing junglers. We are now focusing topside bans for UWGB, making Aji's life a little bit more easier in the top lane. Top lane does have last pick for red side, so it's best to get the hard matchups out of the way for blue side first. And then lastly, the red side is focusing bans in both mid and top with the Lux support, not KM. Really, really good DTM in game, not KM.
Previously not KM, and then, as is true for 1 out of every 5 League of Legends players, had to have a name change mid-season. All good.
Yep. Banning out his Lux, his signature Lux, and Aji getting a ban thrown his way with Gnar. Aphelios hovered.
Aphelios?
I don't think it's going to go through, but I could be wrong. No. Hwei, mid.
That tracks a little bit.
KM, really good on control mages, really facilitates the team, to move to specific objectives, and being on a control mage allows him to do so. And last pick, I'm interested in what Aji's gonna blind here.
Probably only has a couple that he's most comfortable with, but what would fit in with the team as a whole? I mean,
I would say either Ambessa for reachability into say a Lulu or Sion. Just gonna go front line. I can see that as well.
Extra tank presence there, which also, generally speaking, Green Bay probably not going to play through topside very much. So Sion is just going to be the consistent presence up there.
Yes, he wants to bounces. He wants to bounce waves, force backs, not even bounce waves. He wants to proxy and make sure that he's doing his job. Mordekaiser left open, going to be picked. Kind of a hindsight for blue side, because Yuumi isn't that good into Mordekaiser, because once Mordekaiser sends you to the death realm, whoever Yuumi is on, she just gets plopped down into the middle of the...
Yeah, that's not a fun experience for the Yuumi.
No, but...
Just being dropped off and deserted in the middle of lane or something.
Yep. So hopefully we'll see some playability around that. I am unbiased, but I'm not unbiased, so you're gonna hear a little bit of UWGB sided things up here. So sorry about that. If people
I'll do my best to balance. I will do my best to balance, but I have known so far as we have started casting. I've been brought into a couple casts. It's difficult when you personally know the players. It's one thing when I've coached some teams in the past, right? And I've casted games for them, and I get to make some jabs right towards them. But it's difficult to not be biased for the team that you have been there with them through all the highs, all the lows, throughout, you know, an extended period of time. So we'll do our best. Of course, you are watching a UW Green Bay podcast, so we probably expected at least part of that. But in case you can't tell with the rest of all the green stuff, you know, that's the other thing. We are a very unique school because there are not many other schools that have green as a primary color.
Right.
Like the first one that pops into my head is like Michigan State.
Cool. Michigan State, yeah. Is Notre Dame kind of green?
Typically, no. Their primary school colors are like navy and gold.
Gold, yeah.
Obviously, there's a little bit of green that they sneak in with like a leprechaun and things, but there's not a lot there. But yeah, like surprisingly, the number of schools that have a primary color of green, which you would think is like relatively common, is actually not. The more you know.
The more you know.
I don't actually know. I should look up like the percentage because that would be a fun stat to just pull out of your back pocket.
The percentage of the schools being green.
Yeah.
Like 5%.
I don't know. In comparison to like red or blue. I mean, red's probably like half.
Red is half. Blue's the other half.
Yeah.
It takes a few minutes to get into the game as spectator mode does have a lag. We do not have the privy to have live matches. I think that's something only Riot has the ability to improve.
The back end way that this works is actually it's almost like an entire different server that you're signing into. They call it Tournament Realm. And there's multiple different tournament realms that are used for different purposes. And it is on Tournament Realm where the spectator does just load in without delay. In the live client, that's not the case. But if you just loaded a spectator on Tournament Realm, there's nothing else you have to do. You're just live.
Nice.
I've gotten the chance to like work with some of those tools before. It's kind of neat. They also have I think through Tournament Realm, they also have the current like draft overlay. Like, so when you look at a lot of the other like main broadcasts, whatever draft overlay they have, oftentimes there's actually a built-in version of that in Tournament Realm that looks, similar to like your draft glow or whatever, rather than looking like it does in the client, right, in spectator mode. So yeah, they just build in a bunch of their quality for life features in Tournament Realm, which is less likely to actually make an impact right in the public side, because not many people run tournaments like us. As it turns out, not many people try to do this.
Google search League of Legends tournaments near me.
Especially not for LAN. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Dead game or something.
Dead game.
It sounds like it's going to be a little bit longer than just the general 3 minutes with another tech issue or something of the sort. I know one of the issues that we randomly had earlier today. So one of the games that was on main broadcast, the jungler forgot to take smite. So they had to cancel the lobby, remake the lobby. Then on the remake, one of the players client didn't come up.
Oh no.
Like the game just didn't load. And so all 9 of the rest of them were stuck on the loading screen, while the other player had to go through the pull up task manager, exit end task for the game, load back into the client, comes back in, joins, finally the game loads. But all the meanwhile, that was enough time for the spectator delay to tick down, and so it tried loading into the game where there wasn't any.
Oh no.
So the spectator replay had problems. Not to mention, by the way, the one time where both PCs just went off at once. Sorry for that. I don't know what happened with that one. I think Riot just decided to Thanos snap all spectators at the same time. Because that was, I would get it if it was one of them, but it was genuinely both the primary PC and the secondary PC. Whatever. Is what it is.
Yeah, lo and behold, we're still standing. Still finishing the first day of the first Green Bay Invitational. So thinking about tournament structures, what made you gravitate towards the 2-block setting?
I think for one, it's the most fair in a group setting. especially with only 4 teams. Everyone gets to play against one another. And if you do a best of 3, you start like potentially a 9-hour day.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a lot. It's not a lot in every context, but it's a lot for when you're constantly playing. Right. Like there are some LANs, right, that will last 12 hours, like a lot of the large Smash Brothers tournaments or things like that. Yeah, I mean, they go from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Jeez. But you're playing your pool, which starts every 2 hours, and that whittles down from like 1,024 entrants down to like 64.
Okay.
Right, and then like they do like basically quadrants of the bracket on the way down. So like think of NCAA March Madness. Basically, they're fitting it all in one day by saying, all right,
show up at a specific time.
Yeah, the West quadrant is all going to play at this time. The East quadrant's all going to play at this time, so on and so forth. And so in that way, you're only playing for like 2 hours and then you're done. And then you like show up, maybe you're told your next time is like 6 p.m. or whatever. And so then you have that break built into your schedule. With 4 teams, you're always playing, right?
You need a 3-hour break in between these games.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But there's enough there to be able to go through. But now, heading into game here, we are on the Rift for Green Bay versus UW-Madison's Tyrotoxism. Doesn't look like there's going to be any level 1 shenanigans here fully. The only thing, of course, to watch out is Nico. Probably trying to figure out which one's the real Zach and which one's the wrong Zach.
Playing a little game of prop hunt here in League of Legends. Shallow wards for both teams into the top river, wanting to gain coverage of the ramp. Kuromi, Yuedao going to want to sneak in for the early 1v1 with Yuumi and Nyla because 2 champions attacking is stronger than 1 champion attacking, surprisingly, with level 1s, as Valico wants to sniff out the upper quadrant of the river bot side. Not going to find anything, just slowly making his way into lane. Standard start for both sides. Junglers pathing bot. Top laners waiting for wave to crash.
Yeah.
The only thing that I could see causing problem is Nyla walking too far forward into the bush and dealing damage.
Yeah, there's like potential for volatility here in the bot lane, and yeah, there's some damage that comes out, but it's not going to be too much. Plus, what UB heals, right?
Yep.
Are going to start taking effect. So it looks like actually Udalo is going to get some more damage there onto Velko, which it's going to make this more problematic, I imagine, than Ashton would have liked. Going to lose out on a lot of this first wave, and is it going to be able to snowball early? Now, walk me through this one, right? Vayne probably is going to have an easier time earlier in the game.
So Vayne, surprisingly, you always think Vayne, late game champion, scale up, get attack speed, be able to deal a crap ton of true damage. That's kind of incorrect. You've seen a lot of like different build variants on Vayne. I think this one's going to be a little bit more standard. You've got crit Vayne. I've seen some Vaynes go like Collector, Dark Harvest. It's not as popular, but her Q has like a 3-second cooldown and it deals a decent chunk of damage. Doesn't take a lot of mana, so her level 1 is extremely strong. And you kind of see this here right now is Nyla does not have enough range. And how Nyla's Q works is she has to Q something first to gain attack range. And then she'll do her like cone sweep. If she doesn't land the Q, she doesn't gain auto attack range. So just slowly whittling down damage, slowly healing. You're going to see Volibear finishes clear a little bit faster. They're pinging right now where Volibear could be, setting up wards into the Tribrush bot side. Just very standard play, making sure it's covering bases, covering ganks. Volibear did back for a sweeper, although it is off cooldown, so he is going to be spotted, but a pink has been placed. They're pinging Volibears there. It's going to be a 3v3 HP advantage for the side of Aji First Blood, but it is Cyan. I can see Cyan going 1-for-1 here. very good wave state. Gets to clear the wave too. DTM getting soloed. Something I don't see a lot.
So, just to recap, everything happened all at once.
Yep.
Jack decided to take down DTM in a solo kill play.
Verdant flashes in, gets the slope. Burns heal.
Okay, Verdant Chaos coming through.
Not quite enough. I can see an angle where they do go in. There is no heal.
I mean, with Velko on one.
Barrier, heal, exhaust. It could be like a bait, but I don't think.
No. There's no way you risk, I think, in this one. Velko just going to try to stay under the tower. Top laner's back at it. Okay, actually, Pumpkin Pancakes flying in there, trying to help out. And our director camera doesn't know where it prefers to stay in terms of the action, at least for now. What it does look like Pumpkin Pancakes is kind of back on away from the top side.
Yep.
Velko here still hasn't died, but still not going to be in a fun spot. When is this Hwei going to, like, come online?
Hwei's going to come online when he reaches his first item and they're able to push for objectives. I think early game, jungler like Volibear does a ton of damage but falls off later if you're doing the jungle Volibear build. Top lane Volibear is a little bit different, but jungle Volibear should be tanky and should deal a decent chunk of damage early. Falco just trying to get as much CS as he can under this wave. It's been 2 plates for the Nyla.
Continues to be impressive. ZTM actually makes a slight appearance and is caught on vision. Have to be careful here, but it looks like Green Bay is grouping up around this first Drake. Has spawned on the map. Spawned about 40 seconds ago.
You know, Nyla and Yumi backing here is very... Verdant's going to choose to. Verdant's going to back. I thought they were going to look to reset into Dragon, but it looks like they're just going to trade for the backs. Haji taking a little bit lower than wanting to be. No mana in his toolkit. DTM fully clearing waves. You got a nice cheeky double E there. DTM is playing a character, Hwei, that does have a lot of abilities. I want to see if I can count, but there's too many to count. Each ability does a different variant. So Q abilities deal damage. So there's 3 sets of Q abilities. W abilities apply like utility. So shield, heal, move speed. E abilities are CC. So pulls, fear, and roots. So that's 9 abilities there, plus his ultimate. Stacks for a whopping 10 abilities for 1 champion. If you're thinking about League of Legends and playing League of Legends, I advise you not to because the learning curve is way too much and you'll be stuck in Iron for at least 2 seasons before getting out. Unless you're just a god gamer, then more power to you.
There is a lot to learn. And as someone who at one point I did cast League of Legends, that was my COVID hobby. Nice. COVID summer is I was like, I kind of want to learn how to cast other games and started looking at League. But frankly, I've not kept up with it in the past like 3 or 4 years. And so seeing all of these new champs that have got like 20 abilities, and it's like, all right, come on, what are we doing at this point? You know, where's my good, honest League of Legends? Yeah. I just want to see a Volibear dive a tower. How much more is that to ask? You know?
Oh, Velko going in.
Okay, wait a minute.
He gets the double E, gets the XP advantage, and that's what I was talking about early with Nyla's passive. They are going to reach level 6 faster than their bot lane because of the XP ramp up through killing creeps and minions. Huge takedown for UWGB.
Yeah, that'll really slow the momentum. It looked very oppressive for Tyrotoxism earlier in the game, but Velko able to respond, takes over to level 6 first. And takes care of that play. Where do you feel like this one's going to go? Because right now, Tyrotoxism slight lead, right? Plays haven't fallen quite yet, and we're still working through some of that. And so some of that will be recuperated. But if Tyrotoxism was to start trying to push the issue, where should they look to snowball next?
They should look to snowball, I want to say mid. Chach2525 is playing a character that has a lot of synergizing with Pumpkin Pancakes. I think Pumpkin Pancakes and Chach2525 play best together when they're, you know, playing these hard CC champions. Both of them are on it. So we are 2-2. Feats of Warfare is coming up. First team to 3 kills get the feat. So it's a heavily contested feat. Easier to kill a control mage with 2 forms of CC. So that's where I think that Tyrotoxin should be looking. For UWGB, it's more about turtling and making sure that Aji's bouncing waves and Verdant Chaos is going to keep on trying to look bot side in order to further snowball this. As the Vayne walks in, I think it might be a little bit of a bait, but Pumpkin misses the E. Verdant walks in a little bit too deep. Valco trying to salvage the play, gets the ulti, gets the cube. Going to keep autoing. Polymorphed. And the shield comes up as it's a little bit too late. DTM walking to try and save the kitten, but it is not enough as Judas the Apostle falls down, granting Tyrotoxin the feats of warfare as well as the fight.
Seems like a little bit of a misstep there, right, from Verdant Chaos is really what starts to open up that play. But I think it's tough when you're in that kind of situation in League of Legends. Like, take being in Valko's shoes, right? You're like, okay, well, I want to help out my jungler, but they also overstepped. But now you're committing to a play that's already losing. It's almost like you're walking into the 3v2, right? Or 3v1.5. I don't know if Yumi counts as a character yet or not. Maybe it depends on whether or not the ult's up.
Yeah.
Now, though, great play on the top side is YellowChud's going to be able to take down Aji here, gaining more gold, more momentum here for Tyrotoxism. Again, we'll see whether or not they can continue snowballing this here as Rift Herald's about to come up here soon.
I think Verdant is in a little bit of trouble here as he does not have a completed item. Meanwhile, YellowChud just walks in and says hello. Welcomes him to the top lane wholeheartedly.
Oh, that's right. It's a Void Grubs, not Rift Herald.
Yeah,
See, again, why do we need... here comes
more stuff, more stuff.
More stuff. Looks like already seeing Pumpkin Pancakes go down to these Void Grubs. Aji is going to also walk up there, but meanwhile, have to be careful here. Ultimate comes out of Judas. Yudeo has to try to back out away, and Valko's trying to apply the pressure, but no, it's not enough. Now the turnaround comes through. Yudeo going to come up with one, looking for a second here, tumbles forward. It is likely going to find it, will trade their own life for it, but it's a double for the Vayne here as Tyrotoxism again continues to keep up the pressure.
Yeah, the Vayne chose to tumble in the right direction, and tumbling forward got her 2 kills. You might think running away, you know, we're like 1 HP, but played that fight perfectly, played it low and slow, and was able to come up victorious in the end as YellowChud just, you know, doing a little bit of damage to the Cyan as Aji tries and makes a break to try and just recuperate some health. Maybe
Death's Grasp pulled back in, and just a little bit of extra damage on the back end here is going to grant YellowChud another solo in the top lane. Lost about half health there, and again, sort of thing where, like, do you stick around? But this Mordekaiser has enough tools to mess around. Now diving into the place, Pumpkin Pancakes here notices that Valko stepped a little bit too far forward again, and now the punish comes through for Judas as well. Tyrotoxism is running the gambit in the last few minutes here. Actually, Verdant Chaos going to pick up the Drake still. So maybe there's a Drake win condition here for Green Bay, but it's looking tough.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for UWGB as, you know, just picking up crumbs of Tyrotoxin what has left them. They haven't made a big play in the past as
Death Realm.
Aji.
YellowChud continuing to look for it. Aji was just trying to harass the back away. Death Realm is going to despawn, and Aji will escape at least for now, but probably has to think about backing.
First turret for Tyrotoxin does secure the feats for them as they flash in and ulting. Chud, boom! 1-for-1 is really good. Gets the shutdown on Nico. DTM showing his ability to assess damage and make sure that he trades that 1-for-1. Aji slowly clearing waves, trying to deny YellowChud that last plate as turret plating has fallen.
Stun out onto Velko here, but again, it feels like, I mean, if you're Green Bay, where do you turn? Maybe you're trying to play right here through Velko, who now dives into the play, but I don't think you're going to be able to find one, and pretty soon, the Vane's going to have enough. That's exactly what happens here. Yudeo able to pick up one onto Velko again, and now Verdant Chaos looks for the stun here, trying to slam against the wall. Not going to be able to find much here. Polymorph comes through, and now you see Judas try to dive back in, but again, it's only a 1-for-1, and Green Bay is able to find some trades here or there, but they're not able to find any plays from their own, and now Pumpkin Pancakes knows full well that they're able to dive on top of this in the top lane. It's another one here on the top side. Audrey just forced to try to pick up some of the extra creeps towards the end here. But now it's going to be 2 towers down. Tyrotoxism, again, the snowball continues.
2 towers. Nico missing the root. You don't have that much time left in the tank for UWGB, as all champions seem to be picking up pace, dealing damage, besides the Lulus. So it's going to be a hard one to navigate, as Volibear isn't really known for his late game, and Sion is just there to tank up damage, and if the Vayne is ahead, it's going to be a hard one.
Certainly going to be more difficult here. Verdant Chaos jumps in, immediately is going to get polymorphed, and the rest of the abilities are going to get dumped out there. DTM actually going to pick up one against Yudeo here, and now Pumpkin Pancakes looking to bully Velko away. The rest of the team is joining the party as Catch is soon to follow here. The root is going to land this time, and Pumpkin Pancakes is going to go on the rampage. DTM trying to run for the hills, but you're running the wrong way, my friend. Here comes the Zac, leaping it in, flashing forward, looking for even more. Yumi Alto on the disengage, still trying to run. Now, actually for the juke, comes back through, picks up the honey fruit here. Still chaos in the river. DTM looking to continue harassing, probably wants this shutdown. Not able to find it just yet. YellowChud does have the Death Realm handy, so if this starts to get out of hand, it could easily, and now immediately finds that onto DTM. That's the mid laner, taken down immediately. The Zac is going to start leaping up into the air and is going to pick up yet another one. Disaster continues to ensue for Green Bay as Tyrotoxism is doing an excellent job of staggering all of their CC, continuing to pick up pick after pick.
Staggering CC, staggering death timers. This is a big recipe for taking objectives faster, as you see Nico pressuring the bot lane, Mordekaiser pressuring the top lane, and as 3 champions are down on UWGB's side, there isn't much wiggle room for them to counteract, as they're getting their backs, getting their items. You see 2 items on Lulu, item and a half on Zac, 3 items on the Mordekaiser, as Mordekaiser has slowly creeped his way from solo kills to multi-kills, sending people into the death realm and gaining even more gold.
Now it feels like Green Bay just has to group up and attempt to find some monsters in their own jungle.
Yeah,
that's the kind of game that we're playing now. Is there 11,000 gold down? Couple of levels here as well across the board. Verdant Chaos on level 10 now, and looking for at least one of these shutdowns against YellowChud, but they barely chunked down anything, and now the Death Scraps is actually going to pull back. Still looking for more is Green Bay, and now able to find even more CC. Verdant Chaos leaps on there, and it's a shutdown for the Volibear. Yudeo, though, is in the areas, looking to continue.
Unstoppable onto
damage. There's the unstoppable onslaught, and now it's a double for Verdant Chaos. Green Bay able to find a response here, and especially looking for more, but they did give away another Drake.
That is exactly what they needed, as Chach 2525 didn't get the root, so might be a Rift Herald play for UWGB, but their HP levels are kind of low, so they might opt out of it just to gain more pressure on the map. Back, get items, push lanes out as their side lanes are in deep need of help.
I mean, it feels like, though, you're just giving away all of your momentum because, even still, if a fight goes your way, you're still down quite a bit of gold, right?
Yep.
You're just going to have to try to look for more plays like that where you can more easily group up in a moment's notice and find somebody who's just kind of lazily walking back in attempts to their top side of the map or something of the sort. And I feel like that's going to be difficult to do because I imagine that was a bit of a wake-up call here for Tyrotoxin.
Tyrotoxin saw their mistake.
Yeah,
and gonna correct it.
Don't keep giving away those kinds of picks.
Yep. As the gold lead has slightly moved up under 10,000, so a little bit of an improvement.
An improvement from 11,000 to 9,000. It's still about a 10,000 gold difference. UDO now looking against Verdant Chaos. Turnaround, though, potentially here as DTM is in the area. Flashing forward is UDO, and now you see Judas come through. Looking for that Yumi ult, but not able to find much of anything. And now the Zac is going to start bullying the rest of the team away. DTM tries to come in on the flank angle, but the team finds a response. And Tyrotoxism only finds one in that skirmish.
And that response is massive. Udao having the confidence to flash the DTM Hui Fear just shows how comfortable he is on that champion. Champions like Vayne, champions like Tristana, champions, that want to go in, have to balance, knowing when to use their flash, and that is the prime example of utilizing that summoner spell.
Otacon here, now on the top side, taking by Tyrotoxism. Walk me through what this means for the rest of the game here, Matt.
Sure. So they have slain the Ruinous. Otacon, this feature, as they see picking up the rose petals, gives you adaptive force and XP, as well as increase the, effectiveness of the dragons with a small percentage. Mostly it's about the rose petals at the end. You want to gain that XP, want to gain that adaptive force. Huge power spike for the Madison Tyrotoxin team. You're not going to see a lot of not going to see a lot of counterplay from UWGB, as it is an objective that that they were just able to outnumber and can't contest. It's going to be hard for this team to find an in, as Valco trying to go in, instantly polymorph. Udao trying to find a way in. It just looks like the fear hits, but Pumpkin Pancakes tanks the Way ultimate, which is massive. Bounce House on the Zac. Valco getting in. Ulties the Vayne. Verdant Chaos on a killing spree as UWGB is turning this around. Tries to get the shutdown on the Zac. Pumpkin Pancakes is coming with a...
It doesn't feel like long for this world here, as now is going to get taken down. The passive is procced, and Green Bay might have found some answer, but now starting to look for something here.
Verdant Chaos picking up all of the shutdowns might be a slightly concerning thing, as Valco needs these shutdowns to get items. I think he picks up 2 or 3. That might just be a slight, misplay or just wanting to secure kills, but it is good on Volleybird. It just means that he falls off later, and hopefully that he'll be able. He's building the right path to carry late game, so we'll see where that turns out. As the only shutdown left is the Lulu, left with the perfect KDA, 0-0-16.
It feels like this is the point now where Tyrotoxism has kind of hit their spike, or at least their growth is going to start slowing, right? At this point, I mean, the Zac can only get so tanky, right? Udeo hasn't seemed to have that big of an impact, and you're really worried about who Yellow Chud decides to pull into the Death Realm. That's obviously always going to be a threat and always going to be there. But at this point in the game, there is avenue, right?
There is avenue. The avenue for UWGB is avoid objectives, avoid this dragon. You have one to give. You took those 2 dragons early, which means you bought yourself a lot of time to just scale. Have Aji push the side lanes. Have DTM collect waves mid and bounce. As Aji ulties in, gets the double stun. Chooch is trying to find a way out. Verdant isn't confused. He's going to go in. Chooch flashes out. Unfortunate series of events, but that is an important flash that Pyro would like to keep, but Verdant running for his life. Valko trying to survive this ulti, does so, gets the...
Flashes exchanged here in the bot lane now, as you see Judas pop that ult for the disengage. Seen that Yuumi do that a couple times here, and now Pumpkin Pancakes looking to dive in. Again, trying to just bully Valko as much as possible. A little bit more difficult to do, of course, with the Yuumi there. Now, though, potentially DTM is in trouble. Pumpkin Pancakes coming up from the backside. Valko is there as well, and now underneath the turret, gonna tank a couple of shots. Looks like is going to be able to escape here. Now 25 seconds until this first Baron comes up alive on the map, and map advantage certainly here for Tyrotoxism, especially as they put down this Rift Herald.
Driving the Rift.
Charges towards out. The tower.
Pumpkin Pancakes is looking for something to happen.
Oh, beautiful
Gets
knockup.
the massive knockup. Both sides are trading, but it doesn't look shut down on the Lulu.
And that is the team fight that Tyrotoxism has been looking for this whole time. As the whole team comes together, it's Yudeo able to pick up a quadra kill. Aji is the only one up in the top lane.
I didn't even notice.
In the top lane, completely trying to split push, but it's not going to be enough here. And at least one inhibitor is going to fall, if not potentially a second, depending on where this wave starts to get pushed in for the bot side. Probably not the second inhibitor in tower.
For the gold disadvantage, UWGB are playing these team fights immaculately, as Valko picked up the last shutdown from the Lulu. I think it was a 300 gold shutdown, so that's 600 gold plus into his pocket as Y'all Chud clearing camps on his way out, making sure that Verdant Chaos can't keep on gaining XP from jungle camps and stifles their ability to find a way back into this game.
Baron is online here. Still feels like map advantage heavily for Tyrotoxism. Slowly starting to whittle down the resources in the Green Bay jungle. You see Verdant Chaos on the top side here, looking to pick up this blue buff off rip. Yudeo actually going to be able to spot that as well, and thinks about tumbling in for a play. Now actually
gets
is
the
going to be coming back in.
This could be a one-shot.
Could be a one-shot now. Dashing in. Verdant Chaos finds a trade here against Yudeo. The rest of the team tries to follow up, but it doesn't look like it's enough. And Tyrotoxism maintains control of this river, if not gains more control of the Green Bay jungle.
Trade jungle for, vision control is huge for UWGB, as their main damage dealer for Baron is down, creating it almost impossible to take this massive objective that they have been setting up vision for. UWGB just waiting for their time to push out waves, buy time for items. Valko is getting stronger by the minute. Yuumi has reached a point with Moonstone and Crucible. Haji's fine. He's tanky.
Tanky enough. Rest of the team joins the party here in the bot lane as well to make sure that that is indeed the case. But even still, again, large, in no small parts, Tyrotoxism has control of the map. And you see Pumpkin Pancakes on the top side takes care of the buff first, and now is going to leap onto the Baron.
Looks like they're going to sneak a Baron. UWGB is sniffing it out, walking towards them.
Thinking there might be something up, and now looks for maybe a turnaround here towards the bottom side. Difficult to see.
Verdant sees it. Verdant stops it. They're still on it.
Still on it. Very low here. Verdant Chaos walking forward. No, it is going to get picked up and secured by Pumpkin Pancakes. Verdant dives in, but will be cleaned up in the process. And the Baron has been claimed by Tyrotoxism.
That's what I'm talking about. Baron damages. Vayne just shredded that Baron. Gonna be an uphill battle from here, as Baron, the strongest neutral camp in the game, allows side lanes to be pushed, objectives to be taken, gold to be earned, and as this gold lead from 47.8, 53.3, that's over 10K of a gold advantage, keeps on climbing. It's just going to be harder for UWGB to get back into this game.
Especially with the middle inhibitor already taken, super minions being able to get pushed in here. Pumpkin Pancakes looking to pick off one, does so against DTM, and now might be trying to pull back yet another. Their eyes are on the Nexus turrets, as now Catch is going to be able to find one. Looking for even more as Udio continues just pumping out the damage on this Vayne. Velko going to get one in response, but even still, it's just not enough to answer all of the threats that Tyrotoxism built up over the course of the game. That's the wipe they're finally looking for, and the Nexus will fall.
Despite the gold lead, it did feel close.
Nah, did it. Did it. Did it, really? I don't think it necessarily did. Like, the reality, right, was there were instances where Green Bay was able to pick up like one pick here, right, trying to catch out some of those just stragglers looking for alternate paths to get back, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, the second that you line up everybody together for a team fight is the second that everyone's going to fall.
That quadra kill for Udow just solidified, you know, put the nail in the coffin in terms of pushing for objectives as well as the Baron. They just had clean-cut game, a little bit of a hiccup in the beginning part in the bot lane, but then took it back and was able to, you know, push that towards a victory.
Yeah, I mean, I think the lead that they had built up felt almost insurmountable, right? Yeah. And that's just credit to them for being able to capitalize on pressure in the bot lane that they were forcing very early into the game. Also, a couple solo kills on the top side, right? That Mordekaiser continued to be a threat up there. And then Zach just got tanky enough to just hop all around over the place, right? Pair that with a little bit of extra crowd control in the mid lane. That's the recipe for success. The question is that replicable now that they go over to red side? Are there adjustments that need to be made on the draft here?
I think UWGB should focus, if they want to keep the Yuumi pick, how to neutralize certain picks or ban certain picks. I think the Mordekaiser showed great, you know, value and benefit. Was able to pull the Nyla out a couple of fights. It wasn't as prominent as Mordekaiser would like, but was able to survive some death realms, as well as, yeah, I think that's the primary. If they want to pick the Yuumi, they gotta play a little bit more towards non-isolation and making sure they're playing towards bot lane.
Yeah, I think it's even more difficult, right, when you're under the level of pressure that they were under early. Vayne certainly didn't feel like it was a fun, position to be in for Green Bay, right? For Velko especially, continuing to pump out that damage, harass early. Those auto attacks are incredibly chunky in the first couple of levels for the Vayne. And Yuumi has heals, but they're not quite to that extent, right? The extent that you want on the early side. We'll see what adjustments come through here. But of course, that's the other part of, you asked why do a best of two or something of the sort, double round robin. Each team gets one game on each side, right?
Each side.
There's no like force the coin flip and then one team gets maybe what they want on blue side. So we'll see what ends up happening here.
Yeah, Tyrotoxin evening up the match for first place. This fight is going to the last game. Winner takes the first seed for the quarterfinal, for the semifinals tomorrow.
I suppose.
And then, yeah, that should be an interesting game. Very exciting. I'm excited to see what UWGB has to offer in terms of their rebuttal.
Yeah, so maybe that's worth mentioning. Again, 4 teams here today. All of them will make the bracket tomorrow. They'll get seeded based on their performance today. So winner here will be able to take it, and then we'll see what the result is from the other side on the River Falls versus League of Legends.
League of Legends.
Brilliant team name.
Great name.
Is what it is, right? But it sounds like we will take a very short break and step away for a moment. Don't go anywhere, folks. It's game 2 for the first seed in the first Green Bay Invitational coming up right after this short break. Welcome back, everybody, to the first Green Bay Invitational. We are about to start Game 2 versus UW Green Bay versus UW-Madison's Tyrotoxism. We're getting into draft now. Game 1 went in favor of Tyrotoxism while they were on red side. Now the sides have swapped, and so we're about to get into things here.
Yep, so they hopped right into pick ban. I'll keep you updated for the time being. So it looks like UWGB not wanting to deal with that Lulu as they ban out the Lulu. And who is that? Skarner, keeping the ban on Skarner. Blue side, UWM Toxic is going to ban the same bans, which is Twitch and Jinx, and keeping the ban on Syndra. They really just don't want to deal with the stun from 2 screens away Syndra these days.
Classic. Yeah, I mean, right. Crowd control certainly played a large role in the last one, and Tyrotoxism had a lot of it and able to layer that in a lot of those fights, especially a lot of those larger AoEs.
Yeah.
Nico particularly, right, had some there. I mean, one gets pulled in by the Death Realm and for Mordekaiser, and things can get out of hand real quickly. But it's the blue one Vayne
running it back
immediately.
That is brave and bold, Toxic really just wanting, or Tyrotoxism, Tyro wanting to really put a statement out and saying, yeah, we're gonna pick it. Now what?
Yeah, you banned 2 of my other marksmen.
Yeah,
I'll pick this one, the one that I still respectfully steamrolled you with.
Great
game 1.
Great adaptation by UWGB picking up the Tristana. I've seen a lot of more play happening with this champion, able to flex mid or bot, so leaving that variability open. Flex picks taking control of competitive League of Legends, in my opinion, being able to.
Wait, when have they not? Has there been a point where like flex picks were weak? Because I kind of doubt that.
Flex picks are always strong.
Yeah, right. It's like anytime you're able to be like, oh, I don't know where this is going, or you tell me where this is going, depending on how the rest of this shakes out.
Yeah.
You obviously don't need to lock in who is playing which champion until later. Just that those will be the 5. Renekton picked up on R2 for Green Bay, responded to by Darius, like and Lily on the top side for Yellow Chud, and Janna down there to round out the bot lane. Likely going to see a support here, I imagine. Yuumi doesn't seem like the best option.
I could
maybe
see
at this point. Maybe.
jungle and saving support for later. Nope, but they're going to pick support right now.
It's Senna, Hovered, and that will be locked in as we head into the second ban phase. So what is Green Bay trying to do right now with their composition?
Sure. So Renekton first picking up, I think it's more so they want to pick their laners first, the bot lane and top lane first, so that jungle and mid lane can really have an impact on the map. Doing so, Senna wants to look to long range, poke down the Vayne, going to outrange. Tristana naturally skills with range, but as well as has some decent early game damage, but I know that they nerfed Tristana's early game damage a few patches ago. So same concept, outrange, out damage, and then dive in when you have to with Renekton. Looking at the bans, they don't want to deal with the sack. They don't want to deal with the Nico. Very good adaptation to this pick ban phase. UWM focusing on DTM's champ pool, banning Lux and Hui. Trundle picked up for the jungle is the best chance for UWGB to play their style of League of Legends, and that is Verdant Chaos on the Trundle, being pillaring around, trolling around, and being, just a beefy boy. And Aji on the Renekton. Jared hasn't played a lot of Senna recently, but at the beginning of the season last year, earlier in 2024, he played a lot of Senna. So I'm excited to see him being put back on that champion.
I want to call out Bite Mark's cinematic lore. Trundle versus Darius potentially here in the top lane. Although I don't think that ended very well for Trundle. No. So we'll see what happens here. Cass Hover along with Xin Zhao for the rest of the roster for Tyrotoxism. That will be the lock-in here. And now just waiting on the last one for Green Bay. Likely going to be a mid laner based on what we're seeing. I don't even know.
I could see a Mel. Mel works really well into Cassiopeia. Can block the stun, I believe. Could be wrong. You could get stunned. But LeBlanc.
Okay.
KM wanting to take control of this game, being able to dictate where to be on the map, make picks, be annoying, and, just be a menace in this game. And I'm excited to see these two teams take on to the Rift, as this is the last game of day one and the deal breaker for who gets the first seed in placements for semifinals tomorrow.
Yeah, I think both of these teams at this point certainly want to probably would prefer to escape River Falls if given the choice, right? Looking like they are likely to be the second team, or the third team rather, coming out of the day today. They picked up their first game over UW-Madison's League of Legends team. That one's happening right now on the side stream. They're actually quite far along in their second game now. About 21 minutes in, where League of Legends actually has a slight lead, about a 2K gold lead right now. We'll see whether or not they can hold on to that one. Of course, if you're interested, you can tune into the side stream there. It's been the same link all day. That one hasn't changed. The side stream, the one that doesn't have any bells and whistles on it, has been perfectly fine all day, except for the one part where Riot pulled the plug on the spectator client, on both at the same time. All good. But yeah, should be a lot of fun.
Who do you think, looking at this, I know you don't play that much League of Legends, but if you were to pick a team comp, which one do you think you would favor?
Which one would I favor? Well, based when I was paying more active attention to League of Legends, I think more of the champs on Green Bay's side, right, would have been played. I mean, I don't think Redecton has ever had a point where he's completely fallen out of favor. Tristana's been around for a while. Senna has been really strong in general, in terms of also that global pressure, right? With the ability to just heal almost, anything, or sometimes that slight little bit of a difference can be the difference. But I think those are very niche situations for sure. Also seen cases where Cassiopeia can take over a game, right? So I think there's certainly potential for the mid lane to be a lot more volatile than it was in the last one. Where in the last game, right, Tyrotoxism's mid laner playing that Nico, it's like, okay, well, your main goal is to sit there and play, be the crowd control, right? Be a little bit of a tank, cause a little bit of mischief maybe here or there. But you're not going to do a lot. Meanwhile, here, Cassiopeia is certainly going to try to be more of that damage presence, right?
Right. And KM putting himself in a place where he wants to make sure that Cassiopeia can't farm comfortably, and Cassiopeia wanting to make sure that she can land those very important miasmas as well as her W.
Well, getting into it soon here. Last game of the day. Actually, not going to be too far behind. Usually, a lot of lands will run like really, really far behind. We're like
slightly
kind of behind.
Yeah. Projected was like.
Projected was 8. We're done with this by 5.
Oh, 5. Okay.
So
gotcha.
Yeah, it's
it'll be a little
4:40 Central Time right now. It's not too bad.
No.
First go.
Still get your evening.
Yeah.
Have a good dinner.
I know. I'm sure these teams are looking forward to dinner.
I'm looking forward to dinner.
I got to escape to my office for like 15 minutes to go eat my lunch real fast. I don't know if many of them have got the chance to do that.
I had breakfast.
That's good. One of few gamers here that has breakfast.
True.
Apparently.
The best part of waking up is
breakfast. please. I don't understand why you all just don't eat breakfast. Whenever I don't eat breakfast, I just like am always hungry and am just unable to think about anything other than the fact that I need food. All good though. We're getting into this one here. Round 3. It's the final game of the day. Tyrotoxism versus Green Bay. Winner gets the first seed overall heading into Sunday.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
That's it. You're nothing else to follow
Nothing
up.
else,
Just winner,
no.
winner, chicken dinner, and that's it. We don't even have a winner yet.
DTM going in, already showing that pressure that he wants to put on the map, carrying the Ignite spell, not even bothering. He doesn't want to take TP. He just wants to make sure that he gets that lead.
It feels like potentially with Ignite plus a Senna ult, right? There's a couple of tools that Green Bay has that could barely squeak out a fight, which they might be looking to do. And I imagine something like Tristana, right, where more about attack speed and less about having that burst of damage. Sometimes that can make the difference, right? Ending in a whole attack sooner or something of the sort.
Chromie's going to get spotted out as Judas slightly misses his Q, I think. Gets a decent chunk of damage on them. DTM looking for the auto, looking for the electrocute proc, gets it. As you can see, the Scourge plus electrocute plus auto plus W deals a lot of damage. Already half HP, probably got to chug some potions as the Cassiopeia greeted for a tier start. You know, the difference between going Doran's Ring and tier, you get to stack mana, but you miss out on important early game HP and important, you know, gaining part of your mana back for damaging champions or damaging and last hitting creeps.
Bot lane here, much more to the favor of Green Bay so far. Kuromi's been chunked down quite a bit. Does have some potions, but it looks like, I mean, they've burned through their potions already here so far. And Tyrotoxism spot lane will be able to heal up slightly. W was slightly wide from Judas, but continues to attempt applying this pressure and bully away the Tyrotoxism side. Now, though, trying to step forward here. Judas has to flash forward from Udeo here. Judas will escape. Veilco able to find the stun, and now leaps back in. It's first blood as DTM comes in from the top rope to claim it.
We're seeing just the pressure that DTM wants to know. You know, he's going to shove in. Cassiopeia chooses not to, you know, trade HP, which means DTM has free range to move wherever he wants. So perfect play, perfect execution by both support and AD carry, being able to survive the initial damage. Aji flashing out of the important spell that Darius wanted to hit. Yellow Chud looking to shove in wave, using his ghost and being able to shove in this wave. Aji looking to hold back and collect wave positions. Both mid and top don't have TP. They're looking to get a lead ahead very early and just stomp. They don't want to play macro. They just want to play to get kills and force them to step up. And I like this, you know, variation that UWGB has chosen, as I think Tyrotoxism had a little bit more time to play together from what I've heard, and has a little bit more cohesiveness being in CLOL. So this off time for UWGB, they just got to make sure to play a little bit more solo queuing, play a little bit more in your face. Verdant with the perfect pathing gets the kill onto Chach. 2-5-2-5, 0-2 on the board for UWGB.
Again, we were talking about the mid lane volatility here, and DTM has played a lot of that, chunking down quite a bit of that health. But then, as you mentioned, of course, Verdant Chaos, right place, right time, which for League of Legends is much more difficult to do than it sounds. But just great timing and coordination between those two. Also, DTM did use that Ignite. Probably didn't need to use it completely there, but secures.
Speaking of using summoner spells, Verdant was able to burn the flash on top. Important to match flashes. Aji's flash is going to be up a little bit sooner than Yellow Chud, so could make another play and, you know, utilize that time window to get another gank on topside. Aji held on to his Ignite unlike DTM, so I could see something happening topside.
Potential opportunity here, of course. Also worth noting the Pumpkin Pancakes is looking.
DTM is just clean with it.
Yeah.
That weave in. Nice.
I don't like the idea of playing in LeBlanc. Oh, here comes Verdant Chaos again. DTM dashes in. There's the flash. Flashes the pillar. But another huge summoner spell burn here that I expect to see the Trundle in the mid lane one more time, sometime in the next minute or two here.
Verdant really showing how he plays Trundle.
Bot side, though. Zinzao coming around the backside. Pumpkin Pancakes looking to try to make a play happen here. Juicy Puzzle and Veilco didn't fully have vision there, it looks like. And now Veilco has to try to leap away to safety. Flash for Flash. He is going to be able to get Veilco away, and I don't think there's any follow-up here. Zinzao going to look for the poke here. The heal comes through from Judas, and now looking for even just a little bit more. Judas has enough damage to bully away the rest of the team, and everyone walks away on what feels like just a sliver of health remaining. I don't think Judas is not going for this, right? He's not that bad. But DTM again from the top rope comes through just to try to harass even more. Tornado to try to bully away Judas, and at least Tyrotoxism is going to get one for the road, but the shutdown actually comes through here. It's a triple for Udeo, cleaning up the rest of that one. Verdant Chaos going to make some counterplay on the top side as Audrey's going to be able to pick up one onto Yellow Chud. What did I just watch?
You watched a gank that should have worked. You watched a gank that should have worked, but it didn't. I think played a little bit too fast. They wanted to pressure Udao to get the kill. Judas walked in a little bit too early, which caused a chain of events. DTM tanked a tower shot, and then the play fell a little bit awry. Now, this doesn't mean that UWGB loses the game. We look at the gold advantage. UWGB's ahead. 3 to 4 kills. They secured feats, I believe, as well as the Void Grubbies. Now, if you're looking at their team, Trundle wants to push lanes and push side lanes any chance he gets. So having those Void Grubbies stacked up, taking the enemy's jungler, taking the enemy's jungle, and just keeping the pace up. He's doing a great job. So still in a good position, just a little oopsies.
Little oopsies. See whether or not Green Bay is able to regroup here for the rest of the laning phase. Has to be a little bit careful here now. Pumpkin Pancakes right back in the fray. Zinzao going to be able to find that stun against Veilco. You don't have 2 jumps on this Tristana all the time. And so evening things out, basically right back to square one between these two squads. The top laners will continue to trade, but I don't imagine much of anything will come of that. What I'm looking for here is actually towards the dragon right now, where you're starting to see Zinzao on top of this right now. That's
looking
Pumpkin
to
Pancakes.
Trundle gets a great pillar, uses his subjugate to weaken the armor on the Zinzao. DTM looking, lands the root. DTM looking, trying to get the trade. Doesn't get quite enough, but Valko looking to go in. Gets stunned. Has enough damage, gonna jump away. Verdant Chaos autoing in the background, trying to run away from this Cassiopeia.
Nope.
Ooh, not enough. Valko.
You can run, but you can't hide. And the rest of Tyrotoxism is gonna be able to clean up the scraps that Green Bay leaves behind. It's a 1 for 3 on this dragon skirmish, but even still, it doesn't result in the dragon being taken at all.
Just a bloodbath of a game. Both teams looking to fight tooth for tooth, nail for nail, just trying to get that dragon. Ultimately leaving neither team getting the dragon.
Isn't that the way it works?
Yeah.
You know, that's the prisoner's dilemma, right? Is it where you both try to reach for it, but then it's not there?
Oh yeah.
Right. That's the way it works in League of Legends sometimes too. Including in one of the things they added into the new TFT set. The hack mechanics of the gold, yeah.
Gosh.
Do you elect to split? Or
I've lost on all split every single time. Everybody chooses split.
Yeah, the idea of having more gold sounds promising, but then you end up in a situation like this where now both teams have to try to regroup on top of it again. DTM has walked his way down towards the river here, and now we'll be looking for even more Drake starts to get taken down. Top laners are going to continue trading, but again, on this Riverside, it's a 4 versus 4. The tornado goes wide. Pumpkin Pancakes is there. Yudeo is going to get taken down as DTM finds that one, but it will be Pumpkin Pancakes securing the Drake for Tyrotoxism here first. But already, when the second Drake would normally spawn, we're 10 seconds into the game. Or 10 seconds, 10 minutes. If we were 10 seconds into the game, that would have been a lot of action for 10 seconds.
Now, looking at top side as the bot side skirmishes, what was going on, Aji almost didn't quite get the kill, but was very close on, you know, killing the Darius. But leaving that HP advantage, Darius wants to stay around a little bit, might cause some issues. Verdant looking to gank bot, has a perfect pillar, has to dodge the miasma, does land, was able to dodge it, goes in for the kill. Verdant dies in place, but I'd say that's a good trade.
Able to find it, and again, keeping our game right about even as the Void Grubs come online. This one really has the potential to be quite close here as we continue coming along. Looks like, by the way, for those of you keeping track at home, I believe this was League of Legends that ended up taking the game here. I'm trying to speed through it so that I can actually see it. Yeah, League of Legends takes their first victory of the day on their final game over River Falls. So they will still finish the day at 4th overall, but they have potential here to take games. Nobody is a slouch in this tournament.
It's all about tempo, so League of Legends being able to build up that momentum for tomorrow might be the make or break to get into the finals. Falco looking to fast trade onto Yudao, gets almost enough to jump again, but Yudao looking to go back in, lands the root. Aji dying, but Verdant looking to make sure that it's a 1-for-1, lands it, going to bonk, 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 Pumpkin Pancakes, auto. Pumpkin Pancakes has to run away as DTM goes back up top to secure the last kill.
Is there somewhere where DTM isn't? I feel like I'm going to turn around and DTM is going to be right behind me.
He is so around the corner everywhere you step, in the very corner of your eye.
That is actually kind of true for DTM's presence in the Esports lounge here. It's like sometimes he's just there. It's like, all right. You're there. Meanwhile, bot lane again. Judah's going to pop the ultimate here. They are going to be able to take the tower, and it looks like they will choose to escape. Probably right call there, especially with Falco's health. And they'll be able to escape for now, probably looking to get some backs in here, and we're going to start seeing some items come online.
That tower was so important. They were able to secure those feats, you know, move faster, get a little bit more damage. Feats aren't as important as, per se, you know, securing Otacon or Dragons, but it does give you a little bit of a early game, you know, benefit to push for objectives, push for first 3 kills, or push for the first tower. So that first tower secured those feats for them. DTM looking to, not quite.
Predicts it incorrectly here. Verdant
Watch
Chaos
back in.
Also in the way.
Those
pillars
are Verdant has a clean trundle. That's all I gotta say.
Right place, right time, baby. And you get a little bit of extra movement speed in there too. With a right pillar, and it'll for sure be a pick. Void Grub's going to Tyrotoxism again, able to create some counterplay on the opposite side of the map, which is good news for them to look to keep this game pretty close to even. Damage trade still on the top side here. Pumpkin Pancakes in the vicinity. Aji has whiffed it out, but the pull right back in from LiQWYD. Tries to do everything Aji can here in the Dominus form, but it's just not enough. Is going to fall to LiQWYD.
So LiQWYD did flash for that play, does secure the kill, but we'll see how much that matters as DTM, once again, is top to be able to catch that wave. So 1 kill, gold lead, 2K, about 2K for UWGB. This next Dragon is going to be heavily sought after for both teams, as both teams are looking to get mid-prow to ward the river, the jungle river, for Drake.
Looking again here is now a lot more grouping up being done. DTM probably doesn't want to be sitting up here in the top lane, right? But will sit there and harass YellowChud at least a little bit. Mid lane controlled by the bot side. No, actually, all right. DTM continues bullying up here. I'm actually quite surprised that he's not deciding to walk down, especially with the fact that there's a whole lot of activity happening down here at the moment. And Reminder doesn't have teleport. YellowChud does have the ghost here. Maybe DTM's actually just looking for the solo kill here altogether. See that looking and will be able to find it. On a killing spree right now is DTM. Meanwhile, though, trying to get some counterplay done. Tyrotoxism knows the largest threat of Green Bay isn't down here at the moment. Is looking for one against Aji, but a protective pillar will go up from Verdant Chaos.
Playing it slow. Dragon has not been started yet. DTM reaches in. It's going to be a 4v5. Kuromi walking to make sure the vision is clear with Pumpkin Pancakes, taking control of the Drake side as DTM goes in for the quick kill, and Kuromi just lives with a sliver of health. Could the Senna ulti pop in to get the kill? Judas does not pull it, but might be looking.
Beautiful tornado there from Kuromi.
Yudao gets just chunked. Absolute masterpiece class in terms of just poking and prodding, making sure Aji pops the Dominus, able to survive that damage as they secured the mid lane tower, opening up the map for UWGB to move around with the LeBlanc, get those gank paths, and get him moving in places that you think he'd never be.
You say this though, but they're looking at about half. Looks like Tyrotoxism is going to let them just have this Drake altogether. I was a little afraid though that like YellowChud or Pumpkin Pancakes would try to start coming in and try to make something happen, especially like a pick versus a DTM getting that shut down. But no, instead, we'll let it build up a little bit more. Yep. Trades away the Drake here, and looking maybe towards the top side to some extent, at least to have a more balanced approach on the top side with the Rift Herald being up there now.
Yep. And as these items get completed, you see even items across the board other than mid. DTM looking to get that Rabadon's to just deal as much as damage as possible. TP comes in from the Cassiopeia top lane, protecting the Darius to shove in the wave. Great heads up play, making sure that their top laner can collect those waves and swap lanes so that they can gain prio for this Rift Herald, the next objective on the map to be taken. DTM getting chunked out a bit.
Looks
half health.
This could be another fight. Mid laners will find each other, and already Pumpkin Pancakes is going to be on top of this Rift Herald. GB might let them have it here, and yeah, probably is worthwhile to do so. DTM chunked down to half, right? That could be a very quick LeBlanc going down, and that's most of your presence on the map right now overall. Be looking actually towards the mid lane here potentially, but I think Verdant Chaos has already burned his pillar cooldown. Romy going up in the air, not able to find anything just yet. Udio starts to approach, is going to be able to tumble back now, just looking to bait in the rest of the team, but Verdant Chaos is going to be able to come away with that kill. DTM now dashing in, looking for even more, but Pumpkin Pancakes trying to prevent some more here as well. Looking for something, and now we'll pull back some. Judas is actually going to be able to pick up one onto the Xin Zhao, and it's the Darius that will take one against Verdant Chaos. Some extra shutdown gold going to the way of Tyrotoxism.
What a perfect play for DTM. He had this, how W works, you create a clone image and you're able to jump back. He was able to use his second clone to jump slightly back so that the Xin Zhao could still E forward, thinking that he'd have enough damage. Baiting him in, last second after Eing in, he takes the last one. So the Xin Zhao ends up onto the enemy team, onto the Trundle as DTM safely gets out. What a great play.
Feels like there was about 1,000 mind games that we just witnessed there. Like in that last fight, it was like, are you going to go first? Are you going to go first? Are you going to go first? Well, somebody has to. And it was, in fact, Green Bay coming out on top. DTM's shutdown, though, is starting to get up there. Up to 300 gold that could be enough to start getting some momentum back for Tyrotoxism. Otherwise, for now, Green Bay is like slowly but steadily increasing their lead.
Yeah, you can see how, I'd say, annoying playing against Senna is, as making sure, as you can, just trying to find something here. Double root from the Senna as they have to back off, forcing a flash from Judas the Apostle, but able to get out safely. Verdant clearing up as many camps as he can on his way out. Next objective, Otacon spawning. It is Ruinous Otacon. Those are the ones with the petals, rose petals. DTM searching for something, can't find it. Judas poking and prodding. Aji in the mid lane.
We're starting to get to the point too where Judas's range of those autos is starting to get up there, right? It's obviously not going to be a lot, right? But even still, as you keep picking up those souls, it's going to be more of a presence. It's going to be more of a threat, especially when we're seeing a lot of this poke, and then just have DTM, who's probably waiting in the wings looking to dive in. Now, of course, currently is actually split pushing in the bot lane. Will be backing away.
Back to pick up the Rabadons. Not quite. He's looking to AP maximize. I don't know. He bought a Hextech alternator. I don't think he's going for the Rabadons anymore. He's going a different build called item components and not completing an item. It could be good. I don't know how, let him cook kind of thing.
I mean,
I don't know AP champions that well, but
I mean, he's able to control a decent amount by just like kind of
Miasma misses as the ultimate comes in, rooted in. Chooch 2525 is very low. Flash in for the stun from Aji. Valko has to walk back from the Zinzao, landing that W, but 1-for-0 trade, and the Drake spawning has to be in a good position for UWGB as DTM pressuring the side lane. Mad Tyro looking to contest, but I don't think they can do it, and wanting to maybe get their bot lane tier 1 in return. Spawning the Rift Herald. DTM bounces back, doesn't allow the Yellow Chud to land his Q as Tyrotoxism does secure that. Smite it? Oh, that could have been something.
Equal to
Wait, he's drifting.
With the Rift Herald. His Hudeo and Green Bay will now start to group up around this Otacon. Looks like DTM actually going to back again in this area, and for the wrestle of control over this river right now, feels like Tyrotoxism has a little bit of the upper hand just by the fact that they're sticking around. Green Bay actually electing to back on away.
Backing up does relieve pressure. There's no TP on the side of UWGB. Trying to be a little bit cheeky for the damage and DPS that Cassiopeia puts out on. Both of them have objective control. They are going to be quite late, but they are going to contest the petals as DTM looks for a pick. Able to grab 1 petal, 2 petal. W's out.
Oh, Pumpkin Pancake's diving in, looking for 2.
Lands
but
nothing from the Miasma. Verdant looking to regain control. Lands a perfect.
Not quite perfect.
Almost perfect. Pillar. Forcing a flash out from Pumpkin Pancakes. This should be a little bit of a bolstering factor for Mad Tyro as they are looking to just creep into their jungle. DTM not aware that Yellow Chud is there. Has to W out. Pumpkin Pancakes got stunned up by Aji.
Now going to take Blast Cone over. There's the ultimate coming through from Judas. Aji going to pick up 1 against the opposing top laner. Now Pumpkin Pancakes might be next to the chopping block, looking for the disengage with the tornado here, but now diving forward is still Aji. Judas going to pick up that one. Udio is going to get 1 for the road before getting taken down themselves. It's a double for this Senna, and Kuromi continues to try to disengage, but it's not really preventing Green Bay from walking forward. They'll finally relent here, picking up 2 in the bot lane.
You can really just see how menacing Verdant is on that Trundle. He just walks forward, lands a pillar, does his thing. Valko, in the meantime, pushing top, looking to get that tier 2 solo gold. Should be able to get on the next wave if he desires to maybe contest the Cassiopeia. Doesn't want to. Plays it safe, but able to get control of the jungle and take the rump.
And meanwhile, DTM did pick up the Rabadons.
Hey, I think what happened is he had 1100, so he wanted immediate damage and didn't have 1200 for the gold.
Yeah,
I might be wrong. I'll have to ask him. That was an interesting.
Probably something would happen because he backed like 2 or 3 times within the past like 3 minutes. Not quite ideal, but hey,
it works.
It works when you're ahead.
Yeah.
It works when you're ahead and you got a little bit of leeway.
That Rabadon's passive sure is something when you do get the damage and amplification.
Yeah. Buff's going to get traded here. Everyone's setting up, looking for the Baron on the top side, which is just now spawned 25 minutes into the game. In Green Bay, slowly starting to come out on top of this one. Again, Green Bay with a win here ties the series versus Tyrotoxism, but because of the way that the day has shaken out, they would still get the #1 seed overall, going 5-1 should they win. Tyrotoxism, much the same here, would hand Green Bay their second loss and would be able to take the first seed with a 5-1 record with a win here.
Pumping out damage. Verdant with another perfect filler. Pumpkin trying to escape. Verdant is just too much as he trolls his way in. DTM looking to get the pick. Does land the pick onto the Janna. Judas spacing out the Vayne. Able to oh, that champion is fun. Aji looking to 1v1 the Darius or the Cassiopeia.
Goes into
just not quite as they push the top side.
Top side now starting to fall here for Green Bay. You see the attack speed burning chaos thanks to a lot of the organization here so far, and that is going to be the inhibitor falling. Second inhibitor falling here potentially as well, and it looks like it will here with enough autos in from Veilco on this Tristana. And now Green Bay has a decent amount of control on the map. Looks like they're largely going to set up for this Drake, which will spawn in 15 seconds in a moment, and we'll probably pick up that one, go to 3 Drakes, and maybe look for the Baron afterwards.
It looks like a last-minute effort from Tyro to contest this Dragon as Pumpkin Pancakes just wants to step in and take control. Verdant playing it slow, autoing. Kuromi face checks, almost kills, but Verdant has to play this. Gets oh, DTM picks off the Vayne on the other side. Valco trying to run away, has the barrier, doesn't have it.
Okay, so what I think that was Kuromi just walked in attempting to bait somebody. The rest of Tyrotoxism was there to follow up after that mind game. And then DTM happened to pick up one on the towards the bottom lane for the road. But actually with that happening, it makes it a lot more difficult with both Tristana and your jungler down at the same time. A lot more difficult to pick up that Drake. So now another objective secured, prolonging the soul clock, which is rather important here. And it buys Tyrotoxism more time to start coming back here. Even still, the gold lead is still growing slowly but surely for Green Bay. At this point now, up to almost 7,000. And it's going to be an uphill battle should they elect to go for a full team fight. But if they keep playing those kinds of mind tricks, it could work. You would think that it would be the team with LeBlanc playing the mind tricks, but that's not what's happening here, at least so far.
Yudao looking to go in onto the Renekton, doesn't want to fully commit. I agree, and the thing is, though, way that Tyro can get in is their damage onto objectives. The Vayne, the Cassiopeia both deal such high isolated damage onto objectives that you might want to think. Secured. Okay, cool. Sorry.
Able to find the route there is Judas onto the Xin Zhao, and that's going to prevent him from jumping into the pit. Catch is going to pick up one on the bottom side against Aji, but even still, it's Baron secured for Green Bay, and they've got almost a stacked wave here with 2 super minions in the mid lane. They might look to end right now.
They might look to end. Judas poking once again. Chach trying to counteract. Oh, look at that Tristana damage, and look at that LeBlanc damage. They're just damaging all over them.
I can tell they're laughing right now as Green Bay secures their final game in the #1 seed heading into tomorrow's single elimination bracket. Well fought from both teams there. I think both teams got to show a little bit more about what they had at their disposal to come through here. And taking a look at some of what's happening. It'll be fun, I think, to watch. If this ends up being the finals matchup, it'll be really fun to watch these two in a best of three. Maybe best of five if the teams decide to do best of five.
Ooh.
Which they can do. I won't
best of five Fearless. You've heard it here first.
Yeah.
Not confirmed.
Not confirmed. But maybe. It'll at least be a best of three, and even still, that's going to be fun to watch. Oh, yeah. But to your point, it will be Fearless, which is something that these teams will have to make an adjustment for. Thinking about tomorrow, what kind of adjustment do the teams have to start thinking about in preparation for Fearless?
For Fearless, they got to think about champions that work well together, kind of like a one-and-done scenario, and champions they want to deny for the enemy team, because this mode of Fearless isn't the Fearless in which the enemy team can play the champion that you had recently played last game. It is the Fearless in which if the champion is played once, it's out for both teams. So thinking about, strategizing which champions have which players have a shared champion pool, picking champions that pair well with each other, as well as making the best judgment on play styles. So it should be fun. Should be a really good matchup.
It'll be a lot of fun, of course, tomorrow. Allegedly. Only one day of the Green Bay Invitational has concluded. We might get a player interview in here in just a moment. We'll see whether or not that actually happens.
Okay.
But if not, join us for day 2 tomorrow. Coverage will start at 11 o'clock. Hopefully, we'll have everyone else or coming through. So that'll be fun. And we'll be able to figure that out. So anyway, Matt, thanks for joining the caster desk for now. And folks, don't go anywhere. I do believe we'll have a player interview. So stay tuned for that. At the break. Okay. Or we'll just be here. Okay, well, I was under the impression that we were going to just cut to break. He's coming. But no, instead, what a 7th player come join us. All right, well, thanks, Matt. And we'll have YellowChud come on in. Entering now. Welcome, my friend, from Madison Tyrotoxism. Have a seat. How are you?
Well, I mean, not bad. We went 4-2.
Yeah.
I think we could have. There was a world where we could have won 6, but 4-2 is all right.
4-2 is all right. How was playing in the LAN environment overall? Have you had the opportunity to play at LAN before?
No. This is my first time.
Okay.
So it's a pretty special experience.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, awesome. How did it feel? Obviously, the viewers have been watching your team play all day so far today, all right? But particularly in the last game, I got to see, or the last 2 games, had to have felt pretty good on the Mordekaiser in the first game versus Green Bay. What went well for your team in that first game?
Honestly, we had a much better comp, and the Nyla kind of couldn't do anything at all that game. Like, we kind of just played around countering her, and our bot won early, so we were winning really, really hard everywhere. I also had a counter pick top lane, so I kind of did really well. So that's kind of what led to this, I guess.
The counter pick top lane, the early pressure in the bot lane, and overall just being better.
Yeah, we had a much better comp game 1 and game 2, which, yeah.
So what went wrong in game 2 then? If you feel like you had the better comp, what went wrong?
Our comp isn't necessarily bad game 2. We're just a lot weaker early, and
sure,
we just had to scale and we didn't.
Yeah.
And they were kind of 480 other than LeBlanc, so it's a bit unfortunate that LeBlanc is fed. If LeBlanc was not fed, I would do a lot better because I can stack armor.
Yeah.
And I guess we didn't really play safe enough. We should have played the scale and just play a bit better, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So the first series of the day was versus River Falls, and that'll be your opponent in the semifinals tomorrow. They come out as the 3rd seed, you all as the 2nd seed. How do you expect that matchup is going to play out, especially given by the fact that you're heading over to Fearless for best of 3?
So, I mean, Fearless is interesting. I've never played Fearless. It's best of 3, right?
Yeah.
So, by game 3, I mean, we'll lose a lot of our champions. We'll have to play something new. I guess we'll adapt. I mean, we already had like some picks in mind for like what we'll play in Fearless, and I mean, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I think it'll be a unique opportunity. Obviously, right? It's getting tested out in the pro scene. Might as well test in the collegiate scene too, right? Also, want to talk about you all are doing really well in the CLOL Open bracket right now, right? How has that progression been, and what was your most recent match? Have you already played that?
Yeah. So we played one of our matches yesterday, 3-0.
Okay, there you go.
We're actually in finalists right now. So
cool.
Finalists of like North Open Division, I think. And I mean, we've kind of not lost yet. So I think we're gonna keep it that way and we'll just win.
All right, good to hear. Well, represent Wisconsin well. Best of luck in that next week. But of course, we'll see you back here tomorrow to crown our first Green Bay Invitational champions. What do you think? Odds? You like your odds?
We're winning.
You're winning. All right, heard it here, folks. Thanks again, YellowChud, for joining here, folks. Again, that was day one of the Green Bay Invitational. We will be back for more action starting at 11 o'clock tomorrow. And hopefully production hears my call that it's time to sign off for the day, folks. It's time to go eat food or something for everyone here. We'll catch you all later.